ladies, thank you so much for joining me inside today's Sister Sense Weekend Workshop, all about you blogging for business. Today we're going to talk about your blog, how to make it better, how to market it better, and how to monetize it better. Those are the three biggies for today. Now, once again, welcome inside the circle. My goal is to help you become a pro when it comes to a couple of things: learning how to create professional blogs, learning and focusing on how to see progress with your blog projects. And, of course, I don't talk about projects without monetization, so how to earn PayPal profits from your blog marketing. So these are some core areas that we want to focus on today. Now, a few friendly reminders first. I want you to make sure that you guys check the emails that I sent to you and download your Get Blogging bundle, which comes with this. There's quite a bit of information inside of that. You've got additional webinars to watch. You've got some pro blogger power-up lessons to listen to. You also have what's in there. It's called the Get Blogging 4-Week Challenge. So basically, over the course of 4 weeks, every week I give you a different part of the content that's within the Get Blogging series so that you can go through it, not just at one time, but over the course of that 4-week period. So definitely download the Get Blogging bundle. If you need a clarity call and would like to do a one-on-one session with me, I know some of you are already members of my insider circle, but if you need a clarity call, you can definitely go to callme.sistersense.com. Before I move any further with that, I would like to say that I am just so excited to have you guys here. I feel really blessed to be able to not only share, but to have you all support the Sister Sense mission and come in, because I know you guys are serious bloggers. It's the summertime. It's hot. You can be doing anything you want to be doing right now. So the fact that you guys are here with me says a lot. I know a few people who said, LaShanda, I'm going to try to be there, but you guys made it a priority to be here. And as my friend Pam Perry always says, those who show up go up. So, again, I'm so thankful that you guys are committed to your own missions as well as mine, and you have decided to show up today. Now, the reason why I stopped at this particular one, the clarity call, is because I love early birds. And my first early bird on the call was Antoinette. So, Antoinette, and I believe we have our upcoming Insider Circle session, but I want you also to do an extra bonus session with me this month. So because you're my early bird, I want you to send me an email so that you can schedule a check-in clarity call with me so we can recap what we talked about today. You can let me know what you're working on your blog and ask any questions that have come up in the process. So that's kind of like a bonus clarity session for you. Thank you so much for being my early bird for today. And if the spirit takes me, I might give away another one of those. But, yes, just so you guys remember, if you are not an Insider Circle member or do not have any clarity calls, you can definitely go to callme.sistersense.com to do so. Participation plus creation equals power up productivity. So I want to make sure that you guys participate today and aim to create as much as you can with respect to your blog, because we're going to get our blog on today. I will send you out replays to watch the links as soon as they're available. And, of course, at any time during our sessions today, if you do have a question, you can hit *6 and 1 to enter the queue for questions. As far as us staying social, on Twitter, I am LaShanda Henry at Sister Sense, and our hashtag on Twitter is #blog4biz, B-I-Z. So, as I mentioned, kind of before we were getting started today, I said, you know what, I want you guys to enter in your blogs. Let me know what your blogs are. Let me know what your Twitter hashtags are so that I can share it with those who are participating with us today live, and also those ladies who are listening to the replay. So I'm going to do that right now before we jump in any further into our session for today. So let me just check here. Who are some of the lovely ladies that we have on the call? Angeline says, good morning to you. We've got Rachel, the creator of swagstrategy.com. This is Rachel's website that includes a blog. The blog is an extension of her business, which is coaching, consulting, training, and development. Okay, that's interesting, Rachel. I want you to really quickly type into the chat. Let me know what kind of coaching and consulting and training you do so I can elaborate on that in just a minute. Angeline's website, Angeline Bandum Bindum, and I'm going to spell that out because I know I pronounced it wrong. Angeline, Angeline Bandum, BandumBIBUM.blogspot.com. I had the pleasure of actually meeting Angeline at a Blogalicious event quite a few years back, and she came up to me and said, and I remember this, she said that she was following Sister Sense and gave me one of her books, which I still have. It's on my bookshelf. And so I really want you guys to make sure you check out Angeline and take a look at some of the books that she has authored. We've got Savorian, the creator of MommyDoYourThing.com. Mommy Do Your Thing, her blog is about the experiences that she has had and information she's learned about being a stay-at-home mom blogger. Now, Savorian says it's her quest to share what it's like as far as earning income online as a single stay-at-home mom and some of the things she does on a day-to-day basis, which is pretty cool. I've got the Black Parenting blog, so Savorian is a fellow stay-at-home mommy blogger like myself. Rachel says, Rachel focuses on branding, marketing, and strategy, targeting women entrepreneurs, sales professionals, and visionary leaders. Kind of like me. I find that, what's great about my circle and what's great about Sister Sense, I've got different types of women in the circle, mommy bloggers, motivational speakers, entrepreneurs, coaches, doctors, lawyers, but we all have certain things that kind of intermesh and mingle together. So it's good to find those commonalities and where we relate. Marceline Bailey is the creator of Happy Half Hour Weekly at MLBaileyConsultantsinc.com, providing relaxation and stress management information for social service professionals. I've got quite a few social service professionals and health and wellness professionals in my circle. You ladies need to get together. So when you do hear of like-minded individuals, take a look at their websites. If they've got a contact page, definitely reach out to them and connect. Angeline wants to know what's the hashtag again. That's #blog4biz. You can see that on the screen right now. #blog 4 biz BIZ, so that you guys can tweet out, follow, whatever it is. If I say a tweetable, let the world know. Rachel. So we're talking about Twitter hashtags before we move forward. Rachel's username is @swagstrategist. Angeline is Angeline Bandum B, and then we have Marceline, who is Marceline B, and so we've got a couple of ladies here sharing, which is great. Awesome, and of course you guys know that I am at Sister Sense. Now, I don't see some of you entering your information, and it's quite all right, but I do see one of you that I am familiar with, Renee Wiggins. So I'm going to shout out Renee, who's creator of resultsbyrenee.com. Definitely go and take a look at her website. She focuses on spiritual bodybuilding, those things that you need to do to change your lifestyle. So while you're on your own health and wellness journey, you incorporate your spirituality into the process to enrich it and make it all more stronger. So definitely start Renee at resultsbyrenee.com. You guys can introduce yourselves in the chat, ask questions, put yourself in the queue if ever you need to talk to me, and we will move on. So today we are going to focus on 3 truths. These are some truths that I've learned as far as blogging is concerned. Number 1, to get your ideal results, you don't have to blog daily but strategically. So the first thing we're going to do is create some strategic posts. Number 2, effective blog marketing is all about working smarter, not harder. Hopefully I can show you how I get that done in my business. And last but not least, you don't need thousands of readers to generate thousands of dollars via your blog. So monetization is definitely on our list of topics for today. Where do we start? We're going to do some essential pre-blogging prep activities. Then I'm going to essentially talk to you about how you test your blog's visibility so that you can explore your marketing skills, and also go over some of the best SEO practices as far as your blog is concerned. So these are some just really quick activities that we're going to do before we jump into the first thing, which is outlining your first 8 posts. We're going to get that done today. Of course, I think I mentioned this before, make sure that you log into Google Docs if you want to outline your blog posts or write notes there. It's a great place to keep things and be able to access them mobily. Log into your blog if you want to do any tweaks or changes there. And then, of course, log into Twitter or Hootsuite so that you can tweet along with us today. So our first activity, Google me. What do you see? Okay? So I want you to basically try and participate in this today if you've got your computer in front of you. The first thing I want you to do is you can Google me, LaShanda Henry. Take a look at the first page. Ideally, the first 3 to 5 things that come up when you Google my name. Also, taking a look at what comes up when you Google Sister Sense, okay? Now, what's interesting about our computers today, and I'll tell you this is how phenomenal technology is, Google has essentially worked towards making our searches more customized to reflect us. So, for example, if you've got your Google Plus account open, what you'll find is a lot of times Google will show you content based on what you've put on your Google Plus or what some of your friends have put on. Basically, what you see on Google, again, it really is a reflection of how you search and what you're looking for, and they're really working on behavioral technology around that. Now, kind of take a look at what you see as far as Googling me. You can open a new tab and you can Google your name, okay? So I want you to put your name in there, especially for those of you who I just kind of highlighted. You all have blogs already, so I want you to Google your name. And I also want you to Google your blog or business name as well. Okay, so the goal here is that what we want to look at are the results, search results that come up in the first 3 to 5 entries. Okay, now this is really important. Personally speaking, I work with a lot of clients, and when I get started on a project, the first thing I do is Google the person, and I always say, oh, I do that Homer Simpson thing when, he hits his head, he hits his hand on his forehead. When I type a name for someone and they're almost non-existent, or everything that comes up is somebody else's thing, or, just kind of a generic search for a name, and then all these random people with the name LaShanda Henry, and by the way, I didn't know there were so many people with the name LaShanda Henry. Other people come up and you just kind of lost in that mix. Where you are in the search engines and what's out there as far as your name and business brand is concerned. Now, this is something that I recommend you do on a regular basis because, honestly, that changes. The more you work on your SEO and your blog, you'll see that Google will track that and adjustments will be made in the process. So where you are and what comes up as far as your name and business brand today may be completely different, a week or 2 from now. So something to think about. Now, you should essentially be the number 1 source. You should be among the top search results for information about your business and your personal brand identity. So for me, you should see sistersense.com come up or LaShandaHenry.com come up because those are my brands, and that's where I've defined who I am and what it is that I do. With respect to the web, yes, there will be other people who put their spin on who you are and what they think you are and what they feel you're all about. But you need to be the person who has the primary definition of that. You need to be your own Wikipedia, right, and have that information out there for you. So what I want you to do, and some of you may still be searching, but for those of you who have kind of looked at that and taken that in, what I want you to do right now is to write your blog description and write your personal description. These can be one and the same. If you're someone like me, and LaShanda and Sister Sense, I am Sister Sense, so the description of what your brand is and who you are could be one and the same, but again, they could be different, right? So what I want you to do right now is, one, reflect on what's coming up when you type in your name. If it's not you, we're going to have to work on that. And then also, I want you to really sit down and think about the description that you put together for your blog. This is one that you put together for defining who you are as a person and what you're about. So as you're thinking about that, and again, if at any time you guys have questions or you need me to slow down, let me know. While you're thinking about that, here's mine. My title and my tag, Sister Sense. I'm all about helping you make sense of making money online. If anybody asks me what Sister Sense is all about, that's what it's all about. It took me a while to come up with a succinct tagline, but it's possible. And that might be something that you go back and rework, you retweak. But you don't want to have to sit and explain to somebody for like 20 minutes what it is that you do. You want to be able to say it in one sentence or less so that it's clear, succinct, and precise. Not only so that their eyes don't glaze over, but also so that it's easy for them to articulate to other people who you are and what you are about, okay? You want to keep it simple, KISS, keep it seriously simple. Now, my description, this is something that I actually have to write and then scratch stuff out and rewrite, so you may not get it perfect today, but we want to make sure you've got something to start with and work with and modify over time. My description, I will help you build your best website and business online. LaShanda Henry, a.k.a. Sister Sense, provides services and tools to build your website on a budget, along with easy-to-follow training sessions on internet marketing, sales, blogging, and more. Sister Sense is designed for women entrepreneurs and work-at-home moms in mind. So the idea here for my description is really to focus on a couple of things. One, what is the primary focus for me? It's building websites and helping women entrepreneurs learn how to market online. Do I talk about all types of marketing? To some degree, but I really focus on building your website on a budget, blogging, and online marketing and sales. So thinking about my target audience, what my primary offers are, that's really what I wanted to be able to come across in my description. Now, it looks kind of big because it's on a PowerPoint presentation, but obviously if you copy that and put it in a text, it's like maybe 3 or 4 sentences at most. But you want to make sure that you're able to create a clear and concise description of what it is your business is all about. Now, when you did that Google search, were you able to see your website name and your description and what it is that you offer, your tagline? Were those titles and details there in the Google search? If they weren't, then one of the things that I want you to focus on is optimizing that and changing it. And we're going to talk about how to do that in just a bit. Now, for me, some of the core keywords for my brand, obviously as a brand name, Sister Sense, my name, LaShanda Henry, what I do, web design for women entrepreneurs, blogging, marketing, and tips. Now, I always talk about specifically web design for women entrepreneurs. One of the ladies in my circle, TY, she does web design specifically for, and I don't know if she does web design anymore. I think she's phasing it out, but she does web design specifically for authors. And there are some people who do web design specifically for people who need networks, or they do web design specifically for, people in the medical field. So, really being clear on who it is you're trying to reach. And if you're in a large community, as far as your industry is concerned, trying to create a smaller sector that you work with will really make it easier for people to find you. Now, one of the things I want you to download, and this is why I said make sure that you got your blog open so you can, work with me and kind of go back and forth as we go. On your blog, make sure you have the all-in-one SEO pack. That's a plugin that you can download. If you got the blog open, download it now so you don't forget to do it later. Basically click on the plugin tab, search for and download all-in-one SEO pack. And then what you're going to want to do is on the settings page for all-in-one SEO, as well as on certain target pages on your website, you're going to want to plug in that title and description and those keywords that I just kind of alluded to in the previous slide. So what you'll notice, and you may have another SEO plugin tool that you use. This is the one that I use and recommend. I've been using for quite a few years now. On every page that you could create on your blog, you'll see once you install SEO plugins, on this one in particular, you're going to see a new little box that appears so that on every page you can write a unique description, title, and keywords. I don't do this for every page, but at the very least I have it for my home page, my About Me page, and certain focus pages like my service page that I really want to make sure that when they come up in Google, my description, my title, and my keywords are very, very clear. I want to make it easy for people to find those particular places because, of course, I'm blogging for business, and I want them to know what my business is all about, okay? Now, I'm just going to pause for a second because I want to check in with you guys to see if you have any questions for me, and also give you an opportunity to complete some of the activities that we just talked about before we jump into actually creating posts. So make sure that you've made note of the plugin, taking a look at your Google, but I really kind of just want to slow down there just so that you have an opportunity to focus on your description. You may want to think about, and this is not even a may, this is probably a definite, really sitting down in a quiet space. I know I need it to be quiet when I write, to formulate a description. Again, it's not something that's set in stone. You can change it, but you really need to be clear about what your description is and make sure that it's visible on your space. And so while you guys are doing that, I'm just going to take a look at the chat section here. And, of course, if you do have any questions for me, you can hit *6 and 1 to enter into the queue. And I do see a question here, so I'm going to get to that in a second. And then one in the chat, not sure how to log in to get the materials. All access materials have been sent out to the group via email, so just double-check your emails for that. Let's see, I think there's another question here.
Hey, LaShanda, it's Sophie. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. So I did the exercise for the Google, and I noticed that your eJunkie store came up. So I mean, I Googled your name, so obviously the keyword picked up in the Google search. But did you have to go in and update SEO in eJunkie? I didn't know that you could do that.
You can actually update the information that's on your eJunkie page.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go in there and customize your eJunkie profile, and I would recommend that you do that. Was that what you were asking, or was it something else? I want to make sure I answer your question correctly.
Yeah, I think that was it. I'll play around with it to see if maybe there's an SEO setting. I don't know if there is or not.
No, not in eJunkie, but
okay.
You just want to make sure that you've put in, sufficient information, and customize your shopping cart page too.
Okay, gotcha.
Any other questions for me?
No, that was the main thing. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Check in if you have another one for me.
Okay.
Hello?
Hey, LaShanda, it's Delorian.
Hello. Yes. What's your
How
question
are you?
for today? I'm so glad you could make the call, by the way. So what's your question?
Thank you very much for inviting me and letting me participate. Yeah, I was asking the question about the document. You said it was in my email, but I don't know how I missed it or if I accidentally deleted it or something because I don't. And then I do have another question that I wanted to ask also. Kind of embarrassing.
Okay, sure.
A few years ago, I was in a bad relationship and I got arrested. So when I Googled my name, guess what came up? I don't like that.
It happens. It happens. So what's your question? Do tell.
What am I to do about that? Because, I mean, it's not the best reflection. I mean, it was years ago, but you know how people have a tendency to sort of attach you to your past. So,
That's a really great question, and I'll tell you how marketers and people who are bloggers and online, they handle that all the time. There's one particular person first person that comes to mind was a marketer that I follow. His name is Perry Belcher, and he was marketing hardcore online, actually ended up in a really bad issue where he was selling some pharmaceutical products. It went bad. He ended up having to go into bankruptcy, lost it all, taxes. It was just a really bad thing. Now, his solution to that was putting it out there before anybody else had the chance to do their 2 cents. So when I heard Perry speak, and he was really good about what he knew, but the first thing he did whenever he introduced himself, and I would listen to him on calls and I'd follow his website and emails, he'd say, look, I'm sure you've already seen it, so let me tell you how it went down. Let me tell you where I made my mistakes. Let me tell you what happened. So he claimed it. He was transparent about it, and then we got over it because it wasn't simply us basing what our perceptions on what was out there in the media, but him saying, look, this is what it's all about. I know that happened. Here's my story, and we'll move on. Only thing that you can really do is just define what your past is or redefine it with respect to how you see it, how you want others to see that brand. So, I mean, we all have things that happen in our life. You can rise above it, so it's okay.
Okay. Okay.
Does that help?
Yes, it does.
Good. So I will follow up with you guys on, I do see some questions here about the materials. If you did get any emails from me about accessing our session for today, double check in there. I said, make sure you get your Get Blogging bundle. If you didn't get an email, I'll double check that as well. But I'll make sure that after the call, I'll do any logistical stuff. Individually, you can shoot me an email if you've got questions about that too. So, all righty, ladies, we're just going to wrap up from our little break here and move on into our session for today. Make it better, blog like a pro. That's the first part of the first section that we're going to talk about. Make it better, market it better, monetize it better. The first thing we're going to do is create 8 great blog posts to engage your readers and promote your business via your blog. So for each type that I'm basically going to bring up today, my goal, and hopefully yours as well, is that in the process of listening to these recommendations, you outline 1 post per type that you will, with a capital W, will write, okay? So, if you can jot down as much as you can as far as your outline is concerned, that would be wonderful, okay? Now, post type number 1, questions. Now, before I go into the first post type, which is the question type, I will say this. Essentially, let's see how I phrase it before I move forward. My belief or my process, my system, however you want to phrase it, is that a lot of times people get hung up with this idea of I can't blog because I don't know what topics to blog about. And my solution is not to focus on topics, but to focus on types of posts so that you can find yourself falling into one of these types of posts on a regular basis and consistently have something to write about. For me, as a service professional, my biggest type that I go to, my number 1, questions, because people have questions about the things that I oftentimes provide as a service professional. So when it comes to type number 1, this is what I want you to think about. 1, what you think they should know. The people who you're trying to target, what are those things that you should know? Keep in mind this is very different from what they think they should know because in a lot of respects you are an experienced professional, and there are some things that, honestly, if they knew, they wouldn't come to you, right? So being the insider, you want to think about those questions that people should know based on your expertise, okay? Now, what I like to do is just have a page or even a section in my notebook where I just list out questions that I can go back to. It's like my go-to Q&A session. What they are asking, what questions are people asking you? You want to make note of that, and you want to write those down as well. I've always got my ears open, when it comes to people sending me questions via email or inside calls or when I go to events. It's funny because thinking about Blogalicious, there was one other event I went to. I went to a Black Enterprise event, and actually while I was at one particular session, they were talking about my community's BBWO network. It was a big topic there. Black Enterprise was starting their Ning network, so, having me as an expert, that was something that was a big thing. Now, what's interesting is that while I was there, and, I'm an expert, right, and I'm sitting there and I'm listening to them talk about me and I'm sharing my story, I'm sitting there writing, and so the person that I'm sitting beside, she's like, are you taking notes? You don't need to take notes at this session. So I'm not taking notes. I'm writing down the questions. He looked at me, he was like, huh? And I'm writing down the questions that people have because I look at things from a different perspective. I know a lot of stuff with respect to my industry. My husband, he's a health and wellness guy. He's a fitness guy. I don't know his stuff. When it comes to the car, know that stuff. So I'm not an expert there. But in my field, I know it. So I don't have questions, which is why when I get in a room of people who are looking to know what I know, when they start asking questions, I'm writing them down. So really being a part of opportunities or networking events or conferences, circles, and people are talking, you're not just asking questions, but making note of what other people are asking. So as far as they're concerned, when it comes to questions, always ask for them. If you guys follow my Jump Out Your Business Laws, I'm always like, tell me what your questions are. I need them. They're like food to me. Save questions that you have from clients. When I get on client calls, in addition to answering questions, I'm jotting down questions that they have because I'll say, somebody else might have the same question. How can I expand on this topic in more detail somewhere else? And, of course, host free short calls or more insight, whether they be group conference calls or even complimentary calls. I don't do this all the time anymore because I've transitioned and I have a lot of actual one-on-one clients. But there are times where I did this more, and I integrate it sometimes into my business, where I'll just do a lot of complimentary calls, 15, 20-minute Q&A sessions, it's just an opportunity for me to help people in my circle, especially those in budget. But then also in the process, I get a fresh perspective on what it is my circle needs right now. So one for me is questions. What questions do you be answering on your blog? Okay, so hopefully you've got one particular question in mind. Now, you may jot down a couple, but hopefully you've got a red pen. By the way, I went to, Staples, Dollar Store, wherever you can go. I went to the store and picked up like a whole set of colored pens so that I can highlight things in my notebook. I've got my purple pen, my red one, the blue one, got a red one, circle one question that you are going to expand on sooner than later as your focus for this particular type. You may have multiple ones, but the first one you're going to expand on next. Post type number 2, interviews. I love interviews, and there are a ton of different interviews for you to keep in mind, especially when you're blogging for business. The idea here is that your blog, you're going to want to use it as a PR marketing tool, which, by the way, is one of the videos in the Get Blogging Bundle. I did a whole video on how to turn your blog into a PR marketing machine. So if you have been interviewed in any shape or form, you want to make sure you repost those interviews onto your blog, onto your website. If it's old, it's okay. Your blog is your archive. Let people know where you've been featured, because if they search for you online, you want these things to come up. And you being the number one source for your personal and business brand, they've got to be listed on your blog. Request expert interviews. I've got a lot of lovely ladies in my power circle who I deem as experts for the different things that they know, and so I will oftentimes ask them to be a part of my power circle and answer questions so that I can, do more than just talk to my community, but connect them to other professionals that can help them in different ways. So perhaps you have experts in your industry that you feel like you need to spotlight on Your Space, resultsbyrenee.com. The lovely Renee Wiggins is on the call today, and she just wrapped up her second teleseminar. Woo-hoo! Her second spiritual bodybuilding teleseminar for the year, which one was based on a question that she got from one of the ladies in her circle. They had a question about how to find joy and balance in their life, and so she did an amazing telesummit. She had 10 speakers. You can find that at resultsbyrenee.com. She's got the replays there, which is great. But that whole telesummit was a series of expert interviews from doctors, chefs. She had chefs on her telesummit, health and wellness professionals. So think about the people that you can reach out to and do interviews with. Find one name that you can interview sooner than later. Request client spotlights and progress information. This is a biggie. When I started my Sister Sense website, the first interview style series that I did was Successful Sister Profiles. I had a series of questions that I would send out to solo entrepreneurs in my circle, small business owners, and they would respond back, and I profiled them. Then there were also other people at the time who I felt like they were just inspiring, entrepreneurial women of color, some sisters doing the damn thing, and without getting an interview physically from them, I just did some research and compiled some answers and then posted those interviews as well. So if you have clients or people that you admire that you can spotlight, definitely a wonderful thing. If you notice now when you go on Sister Sense, I recently released the new Spotlight, featuring some of the ladies in the Power Circle. Perhaps some of you, I know Marcelin, she's one of the lovely ladies on the list, and I love that she sent me an email and she said, oh my God, I got an email from somebody on the West Coast, and they said that they saw my Spotlight on Sister Sense. She was, thank you, and it was such an amazing feeling to know that, it's a service that I'm providing on the space, but it's an opportunity to showcase people. So interviews, whether it be showcasing other people within your community or interviews in which you are showcased, all of that great stuff has to be on your blog because it helps with respect to people searching for you and the information coming up. It helps with respect to people being interviewed on your space and then talking about the interview on other spaces, which drives traffic back to you. So all of those things essential. Now, whether you do an ongoing interview series or you do a telesummit or you do, I'm just going to feature a couple of people for a week. One of the ladies in the circle, Joyce, she has the International Nurse Support website. She did a series during Nurses Week where she interviewed some nurses and shared some of their experiences and recommendations. So how you do it really is up to you. Think out of the box, but make sure you get it done. Definitely a good type of post to integrate onto your website. A couple of tips to share. Email or call interviews work really well. I find email interviews are good, especially for busy people like myself, because I can kind of get the email, answer the question, shoot it back with some photos, and it's done. Call interviews also work well as well. Another one, Google Hangouts and Skype video interviews. These are actually pretty popular with podcasters and video bloggers. I actually just did one with national. She is a national media figure, and she's doing her own podcasting series on entrepreneurs and how to, get the job done. Her series is called Hustle and Heart. Maybe you guys, if you follow me on Facebook, you've seen me talking about it, but it's actually coming out in August. And that was done via a Google Hangout. I've done some interviews via Skype video. So these are all different platforms that you can use whether you want to interview someone or participate in an opportunity where you are the one being interviewed. Now, keep in mind, if someone or if no one is requesting that you be interviewed, one, you want to put that out there that you are interested. But honestly, my first interview was me interviewing myself on YouTube and doing a video and just talking about who I was and why I do what I do. So, again, thinking about how you can be proactive and, putting out your own interviews, asking yourself questions, is something that you can consider doing as well. I think I've said and at least 1,000 times. You can track that as well. Now, type number 3, we're looking at photos. Pictures, what did they say? Pictures speak 1,000 words. Now, there are different types of pictures that you can integrate on your website. But sometimes you can do blog posts that are just really picture-oriented, focus on that. So different types of pictures to think about, and you can, as I'm talking again, the idea here is as we go through each type, if I go fast, let me know. But the idea here is for you to be conscious of any type of particular post on which you can feature on your space. So, for example, products. If you sell products, beauty products, health and wellness products, books, I'm working on an online shop for a publishing company. Do you have products? Just a photo of the product that you would like to feature, or a photo of how the product is being used, so a photo of the product in use, or a photo from customers with the product and going, oh, my God, this is so amazing, and they sent it to you. Feature photos like that. Also keep in mind that if you do want customer photos, you've got to be proactive about sending out emails and saying, hey, guys, I'd love to see your photos. Or, you'll see brands. I always like to do what the big boys do. You'll see brands and they'll say, do you love Gatorade? Send us a picture with you drinking Gatorade after your basketball game and enter to win a full year supply of Gatorade. You may not be able to do a full year supply, but you can do something. Be creative about creating incentives for people to send you pictures of the products in use. Events and media, you in action. I love these. You go to PowerCircleConference.com. One you'll see last year's Power Circle Conference. The details for the 2015 one are not up yet. But, people get to see all the lovely photos of people having a great time, taking notes, hugging, smiling, even having breakthrough sessions. All of those are just wonderful pictures of how I work in action and what happens when people participate in the Sister Sense Circle. So you've got to be able to show that so people can know that you're not just talk and you're walking the walk and you're doing things in your business and things are happening for you. That's important. People, okay, customers and brand associations. So kind of what I alluded to in the events, if you've got pictures of clients or customers, if you've got brand associations. Right now I'm working with one particular entrepreneur, and she has a wonderful gallery of photos of her and different celebrities and experts in her industry. So we're working on putting that together. And that's something for you to think about yourself. My favorite photos is me with Lisa Price, the creator of Carol's Daughter. And I think for at least 6 months last year, I had that on my sidebar. One of my favorite women who are, kind of like women of my own heart that do similar things to myself, Marie Folio. When you go to her website, she coaches women and helps them live their best life. You'll see a huge photo of her and Oprah Winfrey in the sidebar. So if you got brand associations you want to put up there, definitely a great way for people to go, oh, wow, she's been featured here or she's worked with this person. This is great. Life moments. Absolutely love to share life moments. Sometimes I will post them on my website, or sometimes I will post them on my Facebook or Twitter. When it comes to Mother's Day, May, you'll oftentimes see me post pictures of my son when he was just born. And I talk about, business being a labor of love and showing appreciation for the mom entrepreneurs out there as well as those women who have birthed their businesses. So just showing little life moments, even during the holidays where I have my family picture and it's Christmas and I'll put that up on Sister Sense. Giving people a glimpse of you, especially when you're a blogger and social entrepreneur. Some people are not comfortable doing that. And one of the things I actually talked about, if you want to turn your blog into a PR marketing machine, watch that video. I do talk about, if you're a little bit uncomfortable or you get nervous with respect to what people are going to say or putting your family out there in photos and things of that nature, you do have to have a thick skin to some degree, but I moderate and I control what goes out there. So if I look funky in a picture, I'm not putting that picture up there. But, if I'm looking fabulous, I'm going to put it up there. So you control what's out there. You've got to, be conscious of where you are as far as your comfort level. But sharing life moments is definitely a great way to connect with your audience. And, it's funny, people will say, oh, my God, your locks are getting so long, or they'll go, oh, my goodness, look at Chris, he's so big. He always freaks out, by the way, when he goes to events with me and people are hugging him. He's like, I don't know this person. And they feel like they know him because they've seen him grow up. And that's something that's important as far as building a business brand. You want people to feel like, I'm sure you have brands that you associate with, and you can say, I used to eat that when I was 5. Those are some things that have to translate into your own business. I remember when I had $5 to my name and I joined 50 cents. Whatever you were doing at the time, those life moments help to integrate into your business. And, of course, quick tip, you want to go beyond boring stock photos. And this is a big one that I actually don't talk about quite a bit, honestly, in my circle. But I want to be conscious of telling you guys about it because you guys are on Blog for Business today. I love stock photos. I use iStock Photo. I use Big Stock Photo. But you want to go beyond boring stock photos. What does that mean? Not use them at all? No, absolutely not. I love stock photos. But one, don't just do the traditional, like I've got a business site, so I've got to have this guy in a suit and tie, or I've got to have this lady with her hands crossed looking into the sky. Be creative. Think out of the box. Sometimes the most eye-catching photos are the ones that have nothing to do with the post. And you look at it and go, what's this about? And then you read it and go, oh, okay. One of my favorite websites, Copy Blogger, they help you learn how to write copy the smart way. Definitely check out copyblogger.com. They're notorious for that. They've got great photos. Half the time, I don't even know how they relate to the post, but they're eye-catching and they're not boring, and you don't feel like you're going to just another website. I was working with a lawyer once, and, she worked with me on really creating a space that was different. Because she said, I don't want my website to look like every other lawyer's website. I'm so tired of that. So if you want to create a space where you make it better, you've got to make it different. So a big tip for you is go beyond boring stock photos. If you can find things that are different, unique, that you can connect in some way, shape, or form, do it. I don't do these often, but my last flash sale, I had such a beautiful picture of this baby, and he was just giggling away. And I said, I love it when I do these flash sales. And this baby is happy, and I want to make you happy, so here you go. So just finding a way to be creative and integrate these wonderful, off-the-wall, favorite pictures into what you do. Make it happen. Think about it. Pinterest, multi-million-dollar, billions of people on Pinterest. It's huge. And it's just photo-based, and that just goes to show how popular and important photos are. So that's definitely something that I want you to keep in mind. I will say this before I go any further. One of the things that I'm doing today is just kind of integrating these little breaks in between. So just after this one, we're going to pause for a bit because, one, I want to give you an opportunity to be thoughtful about the post that you are outlining today. And, of course, I want you to be able to, while we are together, get this stuff done. Have you ever been to an event and you're like, yeah, you're amped up, but then you leave the event and nothing happens? For me as a mentor, I don't say coach, I mentor, I try to integrate opportunities for you to work on things actually within our session. So hopefully that's something that you are able to accomplish today. So post type number 5, pre-written text, which is really great. This one's a big one, especially for you guys who are very, very, very busy. You want to find ways in which you can put content on your space that's quality content without you feeling that you have to spend a whole lot of time writing. And as I say that, this actually is a good type not only for those of you who are busy, but for those of you who hate to write. So you want to find like 101 ways to write content without writing. That should be like my next blog post. And I'm going to jot that down, by the way. So we're going to have a pause for a second while I write that down. My next blog post is going to be 101 ways to write content without writing. You see, when you do things like this, how all the great ideas just kind of pop up. But that's really a biggie when it comes to this particular one, having pre-written material, okay? So you want to think about for yourself, number one, if you are an author, integrate excerpts of your book. That's definitely something that you can do. I know that whenever I come up with a new issue for Sister Sense in print magazine, I'll post at least 2 or 3 of the articles in full on the magazine so that I can just kind of give people little teasers into what's happening with that particular issue. Excerpts from the book work really, really well. As a matter of fact, Renee and I, we've been working on her autoresponders. You guys should definitely participate. She's got her Be Fit for God fabulous 7-week challenge, which is actually pulled from content from her book. So, being fabulous and fit in God's kingdom. And so being creative about how you not only repurpose your material, but give people other opportunities to access the material, it's a good thing to do, especially as an author. You know, sometimes you find yourself, you write a book and you're like, what else can I do other than either giving people an opportunity just to read the book in full or giving them, you know, a chapter? What else can I do? So you want to find different things to do to be creative, and, you know, working on the autoresponder with Renee, that's just one fabulous way to kind of tap into that experience. So whether it be books that you have, or in my case, I've got a magazine, things like that, you want to make sure that you're putting it out there and utilizing something that you've already written on your space. And this just doesn't limit yourself to print publications. As you know, if you've written ebooks or free reports, sometimes you've got free reports sitting there that no one has read, or maybe a few people have read. Take excerpts of that from that as well, so that you can say, okay, well, this is in my free report, and if you haven't gotten the report, you read this and it was fabulous, so this is why you absolutely need to go here and get the report. So, you know, that's just another thing to keep in mind. So let's say, for example, you have written 4 ebooks, and you say, you know what, LaShanda, this month I am going to revitalize my ebook, and once a week for the next month, every week I'm going to share an excerpt from one of my ebooks. That's content. It's pre-written. You get to breathe life back into something that you've already done, and it shouldn't take you longer than an hour to do it, because really all you're doing is cutting and pasting and then linking back to the full content itself. So giving people little snippets of material that you already have, whether it's a book, ebook, magazine, paid or free publication, all works really, 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 really well. Guest bloggers or regular contributors, big thing. I've got quite a few people who have submitted guest blog posts into both my Black Parenting blog, the BBWO Network. Someone actually sent me, 2 people this week, because I'm wrapping up the upcoming summer issue of Sister Sense in Print magazine, have sent me their articles in a very ingenious way. They shared it to me via Google Drive. You know, you can create Google documents. And they shared it to me that way. I'm used to people sending me the whole article via email or as an attachment, but sharing via Google Docs is actually a really simple way to share articles with people as well. So, and that's something that you can do too. You can consider, in addition to having guest bloggers or creating a team of regular contributors, people who would be willing to write on your website on a regular basis, you can also do the same. You know, have an article, and if you feel like it's a great article, you know, Google Doc it and share it with a couple of other bloggers and journalists who you think may want to repurpose that material. Then you've got content that's under 140 characters or, you know, close enough to it. So new themes, I will note, like, for example, my theme, it's got different bells and whistles. Like, you can do a post that's a regular post, or a post that's a photo, a post that's a video. You can do a post that is an audio, like a Spreaker, and I can also do posts that are social. So I can do a post that is just a tweet, so pulling a tweet quote from Twitter, which is very popular. So if you've got tweetables that you find and like and want to share, you can do a series on your website of just tweetables or quotes, actual regular quotes that people have, or scriptures, as I talk about, you know, Results by Renee, and I'm going to talk about you all the time because you're on the brain. On Results by Renee, she's got so many wonderful scriptures that she integrates into her lessons on health and wellness. So if you're exercising today and we're talking about how to stay in shape and exercise, she's got a scripture in relation to that particular activity, which is ingenious, and I love it. and which is why if you are working on your fitness like me, I'm working on her autoresponder, and I'm taking down notes. I'm like, Renee has to be my health and wellness coach, and she doesn't know it. But it's just really a creative way of getting that done. So finding either tweets, quotes, scriptures, or affirmations that are relevant to what it is that you do. Afi, you just had a question, but also you have Author of My Faith, and you work with single Christian women. And you also have a wonderful wealth of scriptures to share and help others motivate through the process of, being single Christian women and looking for Mr. Right. So understanding how you can make use and repurpose the material you've already created in short spurts and quotes. Tweetables and quotes are always great. People love to read them and share them. Articles. So if there are articles that have already been written, whether they be by you or someone else, you can feature those on your website as well. From time to time, I am asked to provide my insight into topics on New York Times debates. It's like a parents' debate, and it's been on my to-do list to go on my website and repost all those articles, because New York Times folks, they are really great at commenting. And even though it's been I want to say maybe 2 or 3 months since I've done one, I've done enough of them that I can now go on my website and feature them, because all content is good content, as I mentioned to you before. It doesn't matter necessarily when you did it. You just want to make sure that it's out there. So that's something that you can consider as well, either something that you were featured in or something that you read. You can just kind of post an excerpt and then elaborate on it from there. Now, just a quick tip, explore your social media feeds for fresh material. As much as I like to see the crazy videos on Facebook, I really, when it's my downtime, when it's my uptime and I'm working, if I'm on Facebook and I'm not marketing or answering a specific message, really what I'm doing is looking, or Facebook or Google Plus is looking for content that I find interesting. And I will say this, because I use those channels to look for content that's interesting, it's very important for me to be mindful of who I add to my circles, who I follow, who I friend, because I don't want my news feed to be full of crap. And that's something for you to keep in mind as well. If it's the latest, booty pop, or, this is something that somebody did for Saturday, I don't necessarily just want to see that stuff. So it's really important for you to post other things. Did someone have a comment? I just heard a voice. Hello? Or was that just me hearing things? I am about to pause for a second, though, so I will say if you do have a comment, you can hit *6 and 1 to add yourself into the queue before, we go on to the next 4. But like I mentioned before, as far as tips are concerned, you want to make sure that you explore your social media channels as well, looking for fresh content that you would like to talk about, or just to give you some ideas as far as material that you think would work for you. Okay, so pause for a second just so that you guys can reflect on the activities that we've talked about thus far. If you wanted to complete some of the outlines, or, you need to have at least one for each of these before we move on to the next 4. And, of course, if you have questions for me, I want to give you guys an opportunity to enter the queue and let me know. So pause, and I will check. And I am also going to check the comments that we have here as well. Okay, I do see something about background noise. Are you guys still hearing background noise? If you are, please, let me know. I am so sorry I did not see that comment until now. So I do see, Marceline, you said free report ? Can you elaborate on that? I'm not sure if you're asking me about a free report, or if you're not sure what free reports are, you can let me know. So I'm going to okay. So also let me know, guys, if you're still hearing background noise. Angeline says, good advice. You're very, very welcome. How can you meet? Eva says, how can you make a post of tweetables? Oh, okay. That's a good question. Now, like I mentioned, my particular theme, and this will be if you've got certain newer themes, when you're posting, it may have a post type. Mine does. If you have an older theme, it may not. So it's as simple as looking, when you hit a post on your WordPress, looking in that right sidebar to see if you have different options, like can you post it as a video or a photo, and will your theme, integrate something like that. If it doesn't, don't worry about that. The easiest thing to do, and I actually did this for my first Twitter party, was one, when you're on Twitter, if you see tweets that you like, I always just hit that little favorite thing so I can keep note of it. But two, I just physically go into the Twitter, I copy them, and just make a document of them. Now, you can just do, just like post that one tweet and just have that be the post in and of itself. So, for example, one of the ladies in my circle, Bev, when I was customizing her website, one of the things that we worked on was putting together a custom quote so that she can just do like a quote for the day, and it can have just like, the featured photo with a quote underneath it, and that was it. Again, if you don't have features like that on your website, just copy and paste the tweet and then the name of the person, or copy and paste a series of tweets and then link to that person. At least if somebody's looking at it, they can click on the name of the person it came from, and go back to that particular tweet. Okay, so Marcelin says, what is that? What is a free report? Free reports are basically small ebooks. So people are writing, when ebooks became popular, everybody's writing an ebook. Then people said, why sit and write an ebook that's 60 or 90 pages? Write a free report where you're just sharing some nuggets of information, and it's anywhere between 12 to 20 pages. Oftentimes, free reports are used as incentives to download for signups and things of that nature. So they're just documents with some wonderful nuggets of wisdom that you would like to share. Rachel says no background noise now. Okay, wonderful. Let's see here. I do see some more questions, but I'm going to open up the question on the call. Hello? Okay, I did unmute you, but I guess you don't have a question. Okay, so if you do have a question and you want to talk to me, you can hit *6 and 1. In the chat, Angeline says, do you use buyer personas? I do not have one and have been reluctant to do this. Actually, I'm going to be honest with you, that's not something I am particularly familiar with. You can *6 and 1 if you want to elaborate, or you can post it in the chat and I can answer you that way as well. And then as you're doing so, just a reminder, hopefully you guys have come up with at least one, hopefully you have come up with at least one topic idea for some of the types that we have talked about thus far, and then we're going to move forward and talk about some more in a second. I see that you said, oh goodness, I lost my screen. Buyer personas, meaning ideal customers. Do you have those? I absolutely do, and it's something that we're going to talk about today. So I will get to it. You're jumping the gun, Angeline. Yes, ideal customer personas. I've got those as well, so we're definitely going to talk about that today. All righty, ladies. 2 more seconds. Well, I'm actually just going to pause. All righty, ladies. We are back. Ready to move into our next 4 types. Post type number 5, offers. HSTS is an acronym that I use quite a bit for myself. I know it's been a while since I created it. but it stands for always have something to S, something to say, something to sell, something to share. And in this case, you always need to have something to sell if you are an entrepreneur and you're blogging for business. So here are some things that you may have that you would want to sell. What's new? What's new that you've created? So we're going to think about something new that you've created, and you want to be able to strategically talk about that one new thing in multiple ways, right? So that you're not just always saying, hey, look at this new thing that I created. Here's the launch, right? You want to be able to find different ways to showcase new material that you are offering. What's popular? So best sellers. You know, oh, my goodness, I created it I don't know how many years ago, but it sells so well. One of my first ebooks, and I talk about this all the time, I think I spent like either $60 or $100, something crazy for an ebook called Desperate Buys Only, and that book I bought years ago. That book is still for sale, as all the great classics. I mean, there are classics that are hundreds and hundreds of years old. So if it's a bestseller, you want to talk about it. What's popular for you right now? And bestseller for you means bestseller for you, meaning if you've got, you know, you're just starting out and you've got 2 items, and one you've made like 20 sales and the other one you made 2 sales, the one that made 20 sales is your bestseller. So what is your bestseller is just that. Talking about it and talking about what people like about it. You have to learn how to be strategic, how to really market yourself, and how to build your own personal buzz. I mean, that really is what I've done to sustain my business. You know, a long time ago, I did an audio podcast on are you wishing versus are you waiting? And I said, look, I'm going to be real with you. I can't wait for Oprah to find me. I got to build my buzz and toot my own horn until somebody puts me on their map. But until then, I'm going to stay on my map and do what I need to do to move forward. That's how I grow my business. Don't get yourself into this habit where you're lurking, you're staying quiet, or you're waiting for somebody to put you on the map and do what they – no. People want to talk about people who are, sadly enough to say, already being talked about because they're interesting, so they want them. For example, you may find that Ellen I don't watch the Ellen DeGeneres show, but I can say on YouTube I see her clips quite a bit. And usually when I see her clips, it's not even just celebrities, but it's her newest YouTube favorite. And so she tends to find people who are YouTube sensations and then have them featured on her space. Again, you know, the media brands oftentimes are looking for people who have already worked really hard to build their buzz in one way, shape, or form. So you want to focus on your offers and putting out the best offers that you have. What's limited, whether it be limited in stock, time, or by season, put that out there. At the end of the year, I always do my Sister Sense closeouts. My holiday closeouts are great spikes in sales. Absolutely love them. You've got to be strategic about these things, but you also just have to put them out there when it makes sense to. So if you are, you've got a beauty line or, you know, Decadent Butters, you've got your beauty products and you've got 5 left in stock. Let them know, hey, there are only 5 more of these left. And if you want them, here you go. That, you know, one of the ladies I love to follow, Dawn Fitch, she actually came out and spoke. She's one of my Power Circle experts. She spoke at the Power Circle conference a year ago, I think the 2013 one. And one of the things that she does, and you can follow her Facebook channel, she makes quite a bit of money using social media to promote her business. And she'll let people know, hey, this is what's in stock, or this is just, you know, this just left. Or one of the things that she talked about when she talked about how to use social media to market your business, and that video replay, by the way, is on Sister Sense underneath the social media tutorial, so definitely watch Dawn's video. One of the things that she did was she said, you know, Oscar time, everybody's tooting about the Oscars, so I said, you know what, I'm going to have my Punkalita Oscars, and I want you guys to nominate the product that you like the best, and then the best one, we're going to have a sale on it. And so she got creative. She thought out of the box. So if it's limited, you definitely want to put that out there. What just got a rave review? A lot of times you guys go, nobody's commenting, and then one day you get an email and you just fall out of your chair because somebody said so many amazing things about you that you just can't believe it. And then, of course, a lot of times people send them to me and say, oh, my God, LaShanda, look at what so-and-so said. And the minute I look at it, I say, that's amazing. Now put it out there. Tell people, Linda said that she absolutely loved my Decadent Butter cream because it helped her keep her skin so smooth in a dry climate, and she swears by it, and she's already bought 3 months worth of it. And if that's what she told you, you tell them, because they don't know. And the reality is that people are more inclined to want to buy from you when they see how much other people love what you're doing and love what you have to offer. So, don't keep that good stuff to yourself. Integrate it on your blog. It sells, and it works really, really well. Also, keep in mind that you have to be smart about marketing. So, for example, let's say, you got, and I'm talking about Decadent Butters today, you got your Decadent Butters body cream, and you can do a blog post and say, find out why Linda swears by Decadent Butters, or how Linda used Decadent Butters to cure her eczema. Think about not just putting out a random testimonial, but making it informational and adding value to the community at the same time. So what's on sale? That's last but not least with respect to offers. If you've got things that are going away or that are for promotional purposes or early bird purposes being offered at a reduced rate, something else for you to talk about on a regular basis. Now, one of the things that I offer on Sister Sense is, the Sister Sense community, right? The Sister Sense Power Circle, which is ongoing. We have weekly live sessions, and when we don't have a live session, I'm putting out a pre-recording. We got webinars. We've got one-on-one calls. We've got power-ups, all kinds of stuff. And so on Sister Sense, I'm strategically talking about what's new and sharing what's happening on the next call as far as the Jumpstart Your Business calls are concerned. So I don't just say every week, hey, join Sister Sense. It's a great power circle. It's a community for women entrepreneurs. This is why you need to be here. I don't do that. I, every week, just talk about the specific call that I'm focused on. So this week we're talking about one great post that you need to write on your blog. Last week we talked about how to consistently blog. The week before that we talked about how to create a 3-minute YouTube video that's great for sales. Every week I focus on the specific topic rather than the overall, and that helps sales so much more on my blog. It's actually why it's number one, because it's the number one thing that I like to do when it comes to blogging for business. Find different ways to market one thing. You've got a book. You need to flip that book 6 ways to Sunday. And, whether it be like, let's say you look at your chapters in your book and you say, well, every week I'm going to talk about something that happened in the chapter, dun, 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 and then he walked down the road. Or maybe you just every week share a quote or a sentence, and then she said, ... and just leave it at that. So it's like a cliffhanger. You want to do something that's going to make people go, ooh, I want to come back for more. I follow my tweets, so when I post what's new, I'll see people favorite it. People will tweet me back or email me and say, oh, yeah, girl, I see that's happening. They'll either sign up or they'll tell me that they're going to sign up, but I'm conscious of them and they're conscious of what's going on with me. And so that's very, very important to constantly let people know what's new about what you are doing, okay? So those are some ideas as far as offers. I want you to make sure that you're conscious of that for your particular business. I will pause, by the way, and just kind of check in with you guys and make sure that our audio is all right and you guys can hear me clearly. No back noise. Again, I do apologize for the previous issue that we had with the back noise, but I think we're clear and good to go. Just shoot me out in the chat and let me know. And we will move on from there. I did see you guys have questions about Tweetable. So if you're not clear about any of that stuff that we talked about thus far, definitely let me know. No question. I was talking to a client, and she said, oh, this is a stupid question. Oh, this is a stupid question. I said, no question is a stupid question. All questions are valid. So, put your questions out there because they will help me get a better sense of what you need to know, and they will help someone else who may have the same question, didn't have the gusto, didn't have the courage to put it out there. So post type number 6, events. There are just so many different events. So you want to be able to share that information on your space. Now, one of the things that I talked about a couple of weeks ago on Sister Sense, I did a post called How to Generate Everyday Sales. That was a question that I got from a couple of people. And when a couple of people start to send me the same question, my, radar goes up and I go, needs to be a priority for me. So I put out some information about what it is that I do to be able to successfully generate sales every day in my business. And one word that just kept coming to mind that I felt was really the glue that held it all together was movement. And for a lot of people who are not seeing sales or seeing traffic, it's almost as if their space is dead and nothing is happening. But when you've got photos and you've got tweets and you've got quotes and you've got she said this and he said that and this is what's coming up next, that movement really helps to generate the kind of buzz, the visibility, the comeback, the referrals, all that good stuff that you want to see on your space. So events really just further that process of generating movement and creating the type of posts that are good for your blog. What do you recommend? What's coming up? Now, for me, I've been kind of staying close to home because right now my focus is local. For some time, I want to say between 2012 and 2013, I was really focused on traveling and going to different conferences and speaking. I've honed that in now because I'm focused on my local networking. And every year, I've got to do something different, but you got to be realistic, right? But anyway, point being, and focusing on that, I would talk about a lot of events that I was going to, what's coming up, and that's something that I just did, whether they were mine or not, just to show people what's happening or if I'm speaking at an event. If you follow my social network, which is the BBWO community for women entrepreneurs, you'll see that on mybbwo.com, it's different. Before, the first thing you would see is the social network. Now what you see is there's a blog on top of the social network, just so that I can give some information and have a targeted article-based space outside of the social networking community, which is also visible. Now you just have to click through the main page to get to the back end, which is the social network. The reason why I bring that up is because what you'll notice on Sister Sense, I've got Sister Sense on the brain. What you'll notice on mybbwo.com is I've got a ton of events, because a lot of the women entrepreneurs in my circle want to promote events, and they want to promote them within the BBWO community. So they'll pay me for advertising or for blog posts or for social tweets. Our BBWO community is pretty big. So, whether you're doing it for free or you're just recommending it or you got advertisers that you're working with, what kind of events are happening that you want people to know about? That's something for you to think about. One of my clients, I worked on her website. She had a book, a children's book, actually, and her website is gracefulgirls.com, and her children's book is actually just the beginning. She's got different activities and workshops really focused around helping young women of color, young girls of color, I should say, with their self-esteem. Now, in the process of working on her website, one of the things that she sent to me was some PR and some marketing, and she got featured on her website. Now, it's interesting because it's a two-step story. I'm actually talking about the website she was featured on. But on that particular website, they have an events directory on which people who have websites, and I think it's Afro Puffs and Ponytails, if my memory serves me correctly. That's a blog. That's another website for positive young girls of color. And so on that website, she has a directory in which people pay her to be featured, whether it be at an event or a new product or service in that particular directory. So, you can either do it just because it's out of the kindness of your heart. You want to do it for advertising purposes, whether it's sponsored post or an ad page or a directory. Posting events on a regular basis on your blog is a good thing. So, again, first thing being, what do you recommend or what are you advertising as far as events are concerned? What are you personally hosting, whether it be a live event, virtual event, what's happening with you? And then think about event-wise noteworthy activities in your business on a weekly, monthly, or yearly basis. And trust me, anything you do can be noteworthy. I will put up posts, and this is an event for me. If I'm working on a website and that website just launched, that's an event. So I'm like, hey, I just finished this website. Take a look. If you just finished your manuscript, put it up there, Or if you're on the third chapter of your new book, let people know. noteworthy activities that are happening in your business on an ongoing basis, things that you need to integrate into your blog. So hopefully I've got those, brain juices, they're moving, they're going, and you guys are thinking about some possible activities that you do that you may just think are like humdrum, like I just do this in my job, nobody cares about that. They care for as much as you care, and you can make just about anything boring buzzworthy if you put enough interest and creativity into it. So as I mentioned before when I talked about what's new, my weekly Jumpstart Your Business calls, that's something that I post on a weekly basis. Annual basis, the BBWO 50 of fabulous women entrepreneurs on the circle. That's happening this summer. That's coming out next. But I do that on an annual basis, just once a year. What do you do on a monthly basis? All of these things that you do need to be strategically focused and featured on your space. What has happened, recaps and replays. So if something happened and you want to share it, post a recap. This is what happened on so-and-so. We watch Scandal, right? And we look at what's happening on Scandal. We come back. Not only do we come back, we read other blogs' recaps because we just thought it was so good last week, we need to hear about it again. So recaps as well as replays, post that information up there. I always go, the Homer Simpson, I put that hand on my forehead when I talk to somebody and they did a great event, and I said, okay, well, where's the recording? Oh, we didn't record it. Why not? Even if you're just doing a couple of clips, do something so that you have something to put out there, because all content is good content. And my thing is, I'm all about marketing moments. I could be at Disney World. If I'm standing up in front of, Mickey Mouse, we're going to take a picture. And I may ask Mickey Mouse if he's gone to SuSense.com today and what he thinks about my website. So all of our moments are marketing moments. You just want to make sure that you're creative about it and you know how to make that happen for yourself. Now, you know what? Not every post is going to be a great post. Not every post is going to get picked up by, T.D. Jakes or Oprah or, whoever it is that you want to be featured on the Huffington Post. But here's the thing. It's not just about making huge spiral out of control posts. It's just about being consistent as well, because content, as they say online, is king. And then what's happening next, anything that's happening next on an ongoing basis, you want to let the world know so that they can go to your blog and they can be excited about all the wonderful things that you are working on. Post type number 7, absolutely love video. Video has got to be second to photos, only because photos are just like 10, not even 10 seconds. Like 2 seconds, you look at a photo and you go. Photos are very popular. But video is very, very popular online. Everybody seems to be attached in one way, shape, or form. It's funny sometimes when I take like a mental snapshot of my house. I may be on my iPad, my son may be on the Kindle, and then my hubby's on the smart TV, but we're all watching online television technically. So online video is very, very popular. So when it comes to video, a couple of things that I want you to think about. We're going to talk about video some more when we get to marketing in just a minute. But products in action, if you can show how you use a particular product, that's good. If you can even do a video, use it, wear it, love it, let's see it in a video. Customers, if you can do videos where customers are doing contests or sharing comments about what it is that you do, absolutely wonderful. You don't want to be the only one tooting your own horn. Updates and personal brand messages. If you do a search for LaShanda Henry and then you click on the videos tab, I will comment on that, by the way, before I move forward. You should notice, and some of you may not know this, so you go back to Google, do that Google Me activity again for 2 seconds. If you Google yourself, you'll see that you have different options. You can see photos of you, you can see the general search, then you can see videos of you. If you search for videos of me, you'll absolutely see a lot of personal brand messages or just me in front of the camera telling you what I'm doing and what I'm working on now, whether I'm in the car or, on my porch. And then, of course, clips. of either events that you have or inside your business, walking around. If you've got a brick and mortar store, if you've got a spa, walking around the spa so people can take a look inside. Videos are just helpful. Of course, last but not least, when it comes to videos, you want to be able to put together how-to videos to show people how things are done. This morning before our session, I actually went to my local Women's Power Networking meetup, my WPN meetup. I always have a good time when I'm with the ladies there. And one of the ladies in the circle, she does crochet. So, I was talking to her about patterns, if she sells her patterns, because one of my previous clients, she is also a professional crocheter, and her patterns, turquoise blue, she sells them on magazines, and they get featured, which is absolutely fabulous. So, if you've got a profession where you are a service professional, in both of these ladies' cases, they create crochet patterns. The lady I spoke to today does not, just to be clear, but she does crochet. So if you do something, in addition to doing that particular thing, you can show people how to do it in videos and, figure out how to help people in some way, shape, or form. Some people want you to do the stuff for them. Other people want you to show them how to do it, which is why YouTube is kind of like everybody's go-to source for help. I looked at this one comic, I will say as an anecdote, a couple of weeks back on Facebook, and it was like a bunch of people, and then one person in the crowd says, "Oh my God, the internet is dead. What are we going to do? Can anybody fix it?" And everyone raised their hand, and then the person goes, "Can anyone fix the internet without doing a Google search?" And then everybody put their hands down, because most people, we didn't know how we could fix things until Google and YouTube came around, and our go-to is to go on there and figure out how to get it done. So you want to make sure that if there are things that you can teach people, you're being proactive about it and utilizing video to get your word out there. Now, one of the ladies in my circle said to me, I think rather recently, I want to say it was you, Savorian, but I could be wrong. I did a one-on-one session with a client, and they said, I do want to do some videos and I do want to do some trainings. I'm not sure if it was you, but forgive me. One of the ladies said to me, I do want to do videos and trainings, but I'm kind of resistant to it because I feel like they're already out there. People are already doing that. My response was simply put that, yes, people are probably creating the same kinds of videos that you create, but while there is a wealth of content online, there is never, ever a wealth of quality content online. And as you know, we have to oftentimes sift through a whole bunch of crappy stuff to get to people who actually know what they're talking about. So there's never an opportunity where you should feel like it's already been done, because people are always looking for someone else to show them how to do it the best way possible. And then also keep in mind, people are also looking for people to speak to them. So, I talk about blogging, this other person talks about blogging, 15,000 people talk about blogging, but you may come and find my video and go, oh, she gets me, I like to hear her, versus somebody who goes, oh my God, I can't stand the way she talks, I need to talk to somebody else. So, there's somebody out there for everybody out there. So never find yourself in a position where you feel like, I don't want to do it because everybody else is doing it out there and they're doing it way better. First of all, we all had to suck before we got cool. So in order for you to be one of the cool people, you've got to actually practice and start the process. So post number 7 is video. Also want you to keep that in mind. Last but not least, post type number 8, love it list. I love my love it list. Oh, love it list. When it comes to love it list, it's all about the recommendations. You basically recommending stuff to other people. And whether people go through the whole list, they just can't help liking it, loving it, sharing it, tweeting, coming back into it, because we just love lists. They're just easy ways for us to sift through information. It's like, what? When I think about love it lists, I also think about encyclopedias. And you just kind of open an encyclopedia, you see the content, and your heart is just like, oh my God, all the content and the fine print. And you're like, how am I going to read this? But I guess what's great about lists is that we can kind of just bite off as much as we can chew and get valuable content and small nuggets of information, which is why they're great. The last session we did this week, Thursday, the replay is coming soon on Suspense, the Jumpstart Your Business Call, was all about how to create one buzz-worthy post. And I talked about Love It List, but not really everything, I just kind of touched on one kind of list. And the project for that particular audio session was to create your own list of 50 finds. Okay? Now, that's something that you can do. If you want to laze in the Power Circle, definitely listen to that replay once it's available. But just on the topic of lists in general, you want to think about people, maybe a list of people you want to feature, maybe a list of posts that you've already written that you want to aggregate into one post, like, for example, me doing a post on 50 ways to engage your users, and then that post just being comprised of other articles I've written on the topic of 50 ways to engage users, or podcasts, products, pictures, mistakes, tips, quotes, tools, websites. You get the gist, right? Find areas on which you can aggregate content and pull it together to create an informative list for people. Now, two things here that I want you to keep in mind as far as quick tips before I elaborate on this any further. One, as entrepreneurs, I believe, especially blog entrepreneurs, I believe it's in your best interest to build at least one brand list. So, for example, think about Inc. 100, and they have other lists, but, having a list of 100 entrepreneurs, that's their thing, and that's their brand. It's something that people look to, that they follow, that they swear by, that they're so excited to be a part of or associated with. My BBWO 50 is the same thing. It's funny to think, BBWO was just kind of this little thought in my brain, but to have it be where I visit people's websites sometimes just by chance, and I'll see that they have the button and as featured on BBWO, it just kind of makes me, go, oh my goodness, that it's an established brand. Having an established list, that you create a brand list for your business, I think it's a good thing. And for me, BBWO 50, I do once a year. One, you don't have to limit yourself to one brand list, but two, you don't have to do just one once a year. You can have certain ones that you do at certain times of the year, but definitely something to keep in mind. And, of course, if you do want to create your own list of 50 finds, as I recommended via the extended audio on that particular activity, think about that list. Think about a subject that you would like to talk about, and then break that subject down into 5 categories. And for each category, find 10 relevant subtopics so under each. Now, for BBWO 50 people is a lot. The people in the BBWO network, creating a list of 50 amazing women entrepreneurs can be challenging if you look at it as a big elephant, but you got to bite it down, right? How do you eat that elephant? One bite at a time. So looking at that list, the first thing I did was divide it into categories. So women who do B2B work, business to business, or marketing professionals, women who are focused on publications, women who are creating their own beauty products or clothing lines. So dividing it into different types of women entrepreneurs, and then each type I could find 10 women to target with each one. It gave some method to the madness because, again, 50 is big. So you just want to have an organized way of breaking it down so that you can realistically get the job done. Of course, you can definitely ask me any questions about putting together a list today, or listening to that replay on Sistersense, the Jumpstart Your Business calls. And all the replays are at jybreplays.sistersense.com. But that is something that I absolutely recommend, and just one part of the process. Now, 50 is just a number because I always like to go big or go home, right? 50 is just a personal number that I like. You don't necessarily have to do 50. You can do 35. You can do 15. You can do 7. You can do 12. You can do 3, But the idea here is that you're doing a valuable list and you're sharing something that you would like the world to know. So whether it be sharing mistakes that people should avoid, recommendations, that things that they should try, or aggregating content that you've already done, podcasts, products, posts, these are all just different types of lists that we love, love, love to share. So on the topic of I need like a 10-second break when I start to get tongue-tied. On the topic of I did it again. I don't know what's happening. On the topic of make it better, blog like a pro. our goal for today is for you to outline at least one post per type. And really, your blog goal should be to then take these outlines and write your 8 posts. Now, if you schedule out one of these per week for the next couple of weeks, you will essentially have 2 months of consistent content. So, if you can get that done, you can sit down and hammer it out, whether it takes you a day, if you're, like a quick writer like myself, or it takes you a week. It's something that you can do and strategically post out so you've got one good, solid post. I mentioned Marie Folio. She's one of the ladies that I love as far as fresh content for inspiring other women who want to live their best life. And she does her Q&A Tuesday video. It's once a week, and it's on Tuesdays. Again, in a lot of cases, it's not about getting hung up on topics or getting hung up on blogging daily, but blogging strategically and putting out stuff that people actually want to read, watch, or listen to. I don't blog every day, but I try to put my foot in my Jumpstart Your Business call so that you guys enjoy them at least once a week. So, that's kind of the mindset that I want you all to have, because, of course, as business owners, you don't have time to blog every day, right? So we want to make sure that when you are blogging, you've got a schedule that's practical and that works for you. So Marshall says that's funny. I'm not sure which one, but Anthony says that would be me. Thanks for the reminder, LaShanda. Good. All reminders are great reminders. I always have to remember to remind myself something. So whatever it was, good. Rachel says, LaShanda, this is excellent info. Awesome ideas for blog posts. I love the brand list. Of course, I would, since I love branding. Good. I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying the workshop so far and that you're posting and you're chatting. This is awesome. Hopefully you are finding our session to be valuable for you today. Another 2-second break here, because I want to make sure that I'm not information overloading and you guys can, take in this information and write. Savorian says, this is super. Thank you so much, love. Really, really excited to have you here with me today. We're going to pause for a second in case you guys need to complete any of the last activities we've worked on thus far. If you do have any questions for me, chat, tweet, put yourself in the queue, *6 and 1. I'm going to take a minute to take a sip of this water here and see if you guys have any questions, as well as to tweet out. I'm going to go and tweet, let people know that we are halfway into our session for today, and they should be here. Feel with me or share other tweetables for today, and we'll jump back into our session in just a bit. Renee, did you have a question for me? I just unmuted you. I think I did. Off the question. Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Hello? Oh, no, I keep clicking off your question. *6 and 1 again, Renee. I'm sorry about that. I'm having a technically disabled moment. Every time you click it, I, for some reason, turn you off. But you can try and hit *6 and 1 again.
Can you hear me now?
I can. Thank you.
Every time I do it, you click me off. Oh, okay. I want to thank you. Thank you for mentioning me. For those out there, my name is Renee Wiggins, www.results by Renee. I am so busy that I really have participated, but it's just that today was my blogging day, Pinterest. You know it. I'm trying to work with the speakers for the Telesummit, developing radio shows. Today is the day that I'm doing all social media day. So thank you for these tips, because I can really listen to you as well as doing them. Now, I'm probably saying something you probably already said, because I had to go speak to another coach, so I was on another line. Did you mention hooking up your blogs to contests? Did you mention that? Did I miss that?
I did talk a little bit about just, with customers creating incentives, little different types of creative contests to get them to give you some content. Did you have questions about that, or am I answering the right question?
Is there a way they can do it, I guess, professionally, so it won't seem you coming on too, I guess, salesy? Is that the thing? I mean, Is there a structured way to do it?
Well, give me a type of thing that you would be you would feel like you're coming off too salesy. How are you trying to phrase it?
Okay, because of my new trying to repurpose my Transformation Give Up the Struggle Kindle book, and so therefore I'm trying to figure out a way to put it on my blog so it won't be too salesy. So I can say that if you buy the first 5 people, if you buy my book, I can autograph it. Is that salesy? In other words, I'm asking you to buy it, but then I can also autograph it.
No, that's not salesy at all. I mean, it's just direct, letting them know that you are excited about the new launch, and you would like to autograph the book for the first 5 people who buy the book, which I think is fine. And I think at some point, and this is probably for another book because you have a few of them, is this different from them being able to sign up and get access to a call with you because you have a consultation for, this is a different book, right?
Right, this is a different book because that book was Being Fabulous Fit for God, and that's where I tried to do where if they go on Amazon, do this and do that, then they would get a consultation, but nobody really got into that. So I'm just trying to figure out how to go ahead.
So what you can do is, especially if you weren't able to utilize that for the previous one, is you can consider doing 5 autographs for the first 5, and for the first one, they can get the autograph as well as an opportunity to do a consultation with you.
Okay. So, that's good. Okay, that's good.
Right, and so, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being, salesy, because I think we get so scared of that. But you do want to just directly let people know that it is a new launch and you do have an opportunity for them to get the autograph. So you're fine.
And then I can iterate that counseling bit. Okay.
Right.
That's it. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody
You're
out
welcome.
there. Have a good one. Thanks. So I can do
Renee.
*6 and it would mute it, right?
Yes. I think so. I'm going to just double check, but yes. Okay, ladies, let us jump back into our session. So we talked about, I should say, how to make it better. Now we're going to focus on how to market it better, video, blogging, and more. So blog buzz and brand goals. You want to be personable. You want to share your personality, which is kind of one and the same, right? You want to be personable, share your personality, and you want to relate to people, especially for those of you out there who, like me, are service professionals. And, for me, I hate to say 100%, but I feel like 99.9% of my business comes from the web. So for people to trust somebody that they've met on the Internet, that's a big thing. And you want to be able to make people comfortable, know, like, and trust you. So when we talk about marketing, before we get into the video blogging aspect, just let's do a quick activity together, how to resonate by sharing your story. So here's a personal truth for me. My story brings in business. I can't tell you how many times I talk to a client on a consultation call, and before we get into their business, they tell me how much they have appreciated my story, how much they feel like it resonates with them because they're either on a floss string budget, like I always talk about my floss string budget, or, they have kids and they know that I have my son, or they try to transition, or they're from New York, or they love technology like me, or they're a designer like me. And my story really comes out when I talk to clients. And it's funny because even though I just have this one little story, I get on a call, and at first, especially when I was new to calls, my whole thing was, I've got to be the best person on this call. I've got to answer every question. I've got to know more than the person who knows the most. And a lot of times, again, the first thing people wanted to talk about when they got on the call was the story, like whether it be just starting off with my story or letting me know theirs. Relating and resonating is a huge part of the process because people want to feel like you are a person, and before you are trying to sell to them, it's great kind of transitioning from your comment, Renee, on being salesy. Before you sell to them, you know who they are, and you have an understanding about what it is that they need. So again, my truth, my story brings in business. Another truth here, traditional About Me pages are boring. They're boring because they say what everybody else is saying, and most people gloss over them on traditional websites. But what's interesting is that blogs are not traditional websites. Like, blogs have taken websites and just kind of put them on their head. And you'll find that probably even you probably read About Me pages more than you probably used to, or you will read About Me pages more so on websites that have a strong blog feel versus websites that have a very strong business feel. Like, business feel websites, you already kind of mentally know they're just going to give you some, blanket, this is the CEO of so-and-so statement, and you just aren't interested. But for some reason, when we get to those blogs, we just dive into About Me pages like we're watching Scandal. So traditional About Me pages are boring. What I want you to focus on and attempt to even just kind of think about and start today is redefining your personal message and how you put together your About Me page. Does it have to be, real down to earth, hey girl, this is how I am? No, it doesn't necessarily have to be a sister girl page, but it just needs to be straightforward, and it needs to be transparent and personable. If you've got things you want to tell people about your experience and your story, kind of like Savorian talked about, if there were hiccups, good or bad, really just being a person and letting people know who you are, that's all you can do. So what I want you to do as we're talking about this particular activity is right now to reflect on what you have on your About Me page. What does it say about you? Are you sharing your story? I want to say at least 2 or 3 months ago, one of the Jumpstart Your Business calls was about how to resonate with your audience, how to share your truths and be more relatable and more personable, and that's a big thing. And, it takes time to work on that, but it's definitely something I always want to bring to your attention. So when it comes to that About Me space, you want to focus on how it is you got started, highlight why you got started. I let people know the www was not World Wide Web. For me, it was the Wild Wide West. And I just kept thinking about, back in the day, the Wild Wild West, the Western world was new. People were just running and staking claim and, this is my piece of the pie and starting up stuff. And we're in a different day and age whereas before you maybe needed a little bit to put together a business or to buy a piece of property. Now you need thousands, if not millions. So when the web came along, I said, well, this is realistically my wild, wild web, so I can take $5 and get a domain name and make something happen. And, that resonates with people, especially when I talk about the floss string budget and just budget period. So highlighting why you got started, what motivated you, taking them on your journey, whether it be good or bad. Don't just say everything was all good, because, of course, one of the reasons why blogs became so popular and why businesses started integrating blogs into their business is because it came to a point where businesses told us what to think, how to feel, where to go, and then blogs and social media came around, and people started saying, no, this is how I want things to go. And people had a voice, and people's voice started to overshadow the businesses where now they're like, oh, read this blog, and, I need this blogger because she's going to show. I watched this one young girl, I think she's like 16 or 17. She does a beauty blog. Now she's got her own clothing line in Aeropostale, and she did a whole blog tour in New York, all from her YouTube channel, because that's how powerful voices and social media and blogging, that's how much it affects people today. And so it's not about looking at things from the business side when, back in the day, businesses would create this polished, perfect look and feel. Today, people want real, they want transparent, they want raw, they want authentic. So that means incorporating both the good and the bad and even the ugly. A couple of years ago, I had an issue of Sister Sense in print magazine that I was so happy about. My son was the cutest little thing on the cover with me. And then I got an email from somebody who was like, why would you have him in wasn't a do-rag, but it was something similar. Why would you have him in that? That's so ghetto, and you're raising him horribly, and bad images and all. I was absolutely devastated because, I had that everybody loves Raymond complex. I was like, no, everybody loves LaShanda. wrong. And so I went and put that out there. Not only did I put that out there, I didn't intend to be in tears while I was doing this video. It just kind of came out as I was talking, and, how dare this person, and, I'm here trying to create something positive, and I'm getting negative backlash, good or bad. And I did get some people, they, stood behind me and said, wow, how amazing. Then I saw a website that was like, this girl is ghetto, and like hundreds of comments of why I was totally wrong about what it is I did. Good or bad, people are going to comment. But the idea here is that it's your journey, so you have to be able to define it, and you have to step up to the plate if something happens, whether you control it or not, to say, hey, this is my take on it, and I have a right to say it's my take on it because it's my life. So, again, taking them through your journey, really something that's a big part of the process. When you look on my About Me page, I do talk about when I started and how I started and where I came from. I let people know, how I made a couple of cents off of AdSense over the course of the first couple of months. It might sound embarrassing, but it was real. Like most people, it took me a while to figure out how to turn AdSense into something that could generate hundreds, if not thousands of dollars extra into my business. We're talking about how I, turned $5 into $50,000 in annual income. It doesn't matter to me if somebody says, well, you shouldn't talk about that. You need to just talk about six-figure sister or millionaire sister. And I'm like, look, there are some folks out there who would do backflips if they could just get to the point where they're making $50,000 at home in their nightgown. So I never put myself in a place where I dictate what I can talk about based on other people's standards. I'm not going to tell you how to make Oprah money. I'm not Oprah. I'm going to tell you how to make Sister Sense money because I'm Sister Sense. So, again, taking them through your journey and being confident and conscious of what that is an important part of sharing your story. Know why you get them, why you understand your audience. I understand my audience because I know what it's like to transition. New York is very expensive versus North Carolina. I know what it's like to have a dream, be tech-driven. I'm passionate about what it is that I do, even on the days that I'm exhausted, and me sharing that explains to people how I'm able to help them and why I understand where they're coming from in the process of starting up their business or restarting their business wherever they are. And, of course, showing them how far you have come. If you watch my video on my About Me page, there's a video there, and I basically talk about, my Sister Sense marketing formula and, how I make money online. It's really a timeline of where I started from building my first website back in college to this point today, being a college student to being a mom, living in an apartment to buying my own house, walking versus getting my car versus paying off my car. Showing them the transition of how I was able to build myself up as an entrepreneur and a self-made one, that's just a part of the process. And it's not just about the polished days of when you look great because you're in a great suit and you got your hair done the right way, and you can tell people you make six figures or $1 million and you got in thousands of customers. It's not just about those days. With respect to blogging and social media, authenticity also comes from showing them the other sides of you, the days as, even you may listen to Dr. Phil, and I don't listen to him all the time, but when I do, he'll talk about when, he I think he said one day, I remember those days where being poor was something I wished to be. That's how broke I was. And, he'll bring those in because it's a testament to where he is now, right? So being able to share your story and show people the process is important. So moving into the videos, right? And creating videos and how you can create specifically video trailers is what I want to talk about today with respect to making your blog better using video marketing, because then video is big. So I've got 4 types of video trailers I want you to consider creating for yourself. One is my stories video trailer. One of my Power Circle experts, partners, just love her to death. She's come out and spoken and supported me in so many ways, Michelle Shaw. She's got some videos that you can Google. You can check her out on YouTube and look for the Straight No Chaser video series. In the introduction of the Straight No Chaser video, it's actually an animated video, and she talks about this story. And you won't get to a point where you find that your story becomes a strategic part of your marketing. And she talks about how she became the only African-American female utility telephone utility owner in the nation from Los Angeles. She is the creator of her business was Fresh Start. How she built her $1 million business and lost it after 9/11. Now, I can literally recite it because I've heard it so many times because it's a part of her strategy and it's what she shares on her circle, and it's an important part of her message. She took things a step further when she did the animated video. I love it. It's absolutely fabulous. It's got some funny in it. When she talks about, the fact that she was dating 3 different men in 3 different states. Her telephone bill was really high and how she got into the telephone business. It's anecdotal. It's funny. It's animated. So, of course, it adds an extra layer of fun onto it, right? And then you have just the idea of putting together something that's engaging and shows your story, talks about you in a different way. So that's a part of the process for her. And she always tells her story. If you listen to Rochelle, you'll see how she shares her story and tells people about what it is she does. For me, it's funny. I don't have an animated video like that. I think I need to go on Fiverr and pay somebody to make one for me. But when I talk about my story and building things on a budget, I always talk about my sloth string budget. And I say, nobody take that because that's my thing. I'll start to laugh. Rochelle's more funny than me, but people love when I talk about the sloth string budget because it's different and it's like taking it to the next level. I'm not on a shoestring, I'm on a sloth string, and girls go, oh, my God, you know me, that's where I am. So, that's my voice, finding your voice, finding those anecdotal pieces that are a reflection of, quote-unquote, your story, and utilizing that information to put together a video trailer and sharing that with people. That's something that you can do. The first time I did My Story was when I created my YouTube channel so many years ago. My first video was maybe 5 minutes, and it's really hard to hear me because I'm relatively soft-spoken, and I'm like, oh, my God, this is why I'm doing this YouTube video, and da-da-da-da. And I think last year I did a new video, and it's called Revisiting My Startup Story, and I, kind of said this is where I am now, just kind of recapping what I talked about previously. And, again, these are just really good ways to resonate with your audience and keep them connected to you. More often than not, when we find people, especially people that we want to follow or buy into on some level, we Google them, which is why the first thing we did today was the Google Me activity. And in doing so, we want to know what other people think about them. We want to know what information is out there. So the more you take control of your story, the better you will become as far as becoming the pro blogger that I know so many of you want to be. So My Story video trailer, that's number 1. The next one is My Method video trailer. So I definitely want you guys to watch Rochelle's video trailer so you can take a look at how funny it is. And, again, it's a Straight No Chaser video series. So look for the ones that the subject header starts with Straight No Chaser. My Method video trailer. If you go to my About Me page on Sister Sense, the first video you'll see on that page is the one that I talk about my web money methods. You don't have to watch the whole thing. But basically, I took the idea of creating a My Story video and kind of bumped it to something different. So, yes, I'm talking about my story, and I'm sharing kind of a timeline of my life up to point. But the point of the story is for me to share my method, my Sister Sense formula to generating money online, my success system of selling low price point, high price point, passive income, and other people's products, and the combination of all those things is what I use to create everyday sales for myself. That's my formula. Are these elements new? No, they're not new to anyone, but the formula itself is how I've defined it and branded it for myself and my business. So when you think about some systems that you have put together that work really well for you, your own methodologies, you can talk about your experience and then how your experience provided you the platform to create a success system and create a video around that, showing people how or why something in particular works really well for you and how you've been able to show people how to mirror that process for themselves, right? So that's a different type of video trailer for you to think of and keep in mind. And just note while I am sharing these different types of video trailers, just like the outlines, my goal is that I'm, sparking some light bulbs in your head and you go, ooh, I want to do one like this or one like that. Because, again, for me, the worst place to be when it comes to blogging for business is stuck. Like, I don't know what to write about. I don't know what to say. I don't know where to start. So hopefully, you know, you got those creative juices going today and you've got some ideas that you feel like you can work on. My Help. That's another kind of video trailer that I like to put together. And basically this one, for me, targeted towards service professionals on our session today or listening to replay that would like to let people know what it is that you do. So I like putting together videos in which I basically explain to people how I can help you. If you go to the services page on SysAscent, you can watch my video. And I always like to show and tell, show you what to do, but also give you examples of how to get it done. So you can watch that particular video, really short, and I just let people know these are the things that I do and this is how I can help. Now, with respect to creating a My Help video trailer, KISS, K-I-S-S, keep it seriously simple. And this is very important for me to state because whether you're starting out or you're trying to build your credibility, a lot of times people want to put on a whole bunch of stuff at the end of their name to make them sound better. You know, sometimes I'll work with new clients and they want to say, well, I'm a blogger, I'm an author, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a coach, and it's like, those are things that they want to be or they're working on being, but they are really, you know, just kind of stuck on this idea of wanting to put it on their card or in their circle or let people know they do 15 things, because it's almost as if showing the 15 things is showing I do a lot, so I can help you. And sometimes you don't need to do a lot. You need to do a Baskin Robbins. You sell ice cream, just sell ice cream. Just make sure the ice cream tastes really good, you know. So changing that mindset is easier said than done because, again, more often than not, people are inclined to want to tell people, you know, oh, I hear you're an entrepreneur. What it is that you do? And they go, oh, my God. They tell you everything underneath the sun. Half of that stuff they haven't exactly even put to launch yet. But, again, they want to sound larger and bigger than life. It's not about you sounding like a mega Fortune 500 company. It's about you being real and being an entrepreneur. So it took some time to do this because I do a lot, but I did this video and basically broke down in, I don't know, less than 5 minutes the 3 services that I provided. So, again, it's easy for people to remember it, recite it, come back to it, and tell other people. Don't go, oh, what does LaShanda do again? Or, oh, wow, I need a web designer. Who can I call? And they know me, but they don't really know what I do, so they don't call me. No, my service is very simple. 1, 2, 3. I can do websites for you. I can mentor you as far as your business is concerned, and I can connect you to other entrepreneurs in my circle that can help you build your business. That's it. That's all I can do. I mean, it may be a little bit more elaborate than that as far as ebooks and trainings and coachings and conferences. If you start to ask me questions, I'll dig deeper. But just to say it up front, that's as much as I need to say to give people just the starter. So, again, it's not about overwhelming. I know how to do that. It's about working on simplicity, and I guarantee you that that's probably the hardest thing you're going to do when you start building your blog. You'll even see on SysAscent that I've consolidated my header, for example. My business blog, the header has less stuff in it. Mind you, it still has a lot of stuff in it, but I'm consolidating it, and I'm researching and I'm working on it because you want simplicity. It's almost hard to do simple because you want to be able to say a lot and do a lot, and I want to detail it so there's no mistakes. But simplicity is what makes it easier for people to get you and get how to navigate your website. Again, simplicity is one of the hardest things for us to do. But in my Help You video, how I can help you video, I should say, just a good way to introduce yourself. And I use my this is how I can help you video as a video trailer on my YouTube channel for quite some time when I created it. I'm going to get about 2 to 3 months. And then I strategically switch out the trailer when I have different things that I want to showcase. That's definitely one that's up there. I will say this because there's so much I can say about video. If you're a member of the SysAscent Circle, definitely click on the link of the tutorial specifically for video. You can watch the one that I did on how to set up video. I did one on short YouTube videos that I did some days ago. I did another one on how to set up your YouTube channel. So definitely look at these videos if you want a little bit more insight as far as how to set up these trailers. But today I'm just giving you the topics so you know how to outline them and make it what you want it to be. Oftentimes, the reason why I'm so adamant about outlines is because whether you're trying to build a business or a blog or a website or a video, a lot of times people come to me and they're just excited about the concept. I want a website, or I want an audio responder, I want to do videos. And then when I say, well, what do you want to say? They go, I don't know. They just know they want to do that thing, but they don't really know what it is. Like, you can't use the platform if you don't have the product or you don't have the material. So getting clear on the material, I think, will help you in a way that a lot of people who should be on this session aren't. They should have that too, because you can't do all this cool stuff unless you actually have material to work with. And that's what we're trying to focus on today, the material. Here's another video as I'm making this really odd face in the screenshot at the top. The last one here is what's up video trailers. So you're going to talk about basically in video trailers what's up and what's happening with you. I did see for a second that you guys had a little issue with the audio and hearing me. So I'm going to pause for 2 seconds before I go into what's up. If you guys can tell me what was the last thing that you heard or what was foggy at all, I can reiterate that just to make sure that it's clear before I move forward. Okay, ladies, I'm going to do a quick recap of my help. I was just noting, and thank you so much, ladies, for sharing in the chat that there were some audio concerns, and I want to make sure that this is clear for you guys. My help videos, especially for the service professionals, you want to be able to put together a video in which you share what you can provide for your audience. As I was saying before, a lot of times entrepreneurs want to feel credible, so they will tell people they do like 1,001 things. They're an author, they're a coach, they're a speaker, they can do all these wonderful things. They can do backflips. They're a singer. They want to have all these things attached to the end of their name because they want to feel like, I'm an individual and I want you to feel like I can do what a company can do for you. We're entrepreneurs, and a part of this idea of blogging for business, again, authenticity and transparency, is simplicity. It's very hard for people to be simplistic. One of the things I was saying before is that if you look on SisterSense, you'll see that my menu at the top is consolidated. It's shorter. It's got less stuff in it than it had before, and I'm working on making it even smaller because it's very, very hard to be simple and to just kind of get to the point. But because a lot of times, again, people want to either give more so they can, especially as women, we want to say enough details so that it's really clear or that people can't miss things. But when it comes to business, sometimes simplicity, KISS, keeping it seriously simple, helps people navigate, and it helps them get a better sense of who you are and what you do. So if you watch that video on my services page, it's very short. I think it's like less than 5 minutes. I'm talking about 3 services that I provide. For many people, they may feel like I do a whole bunch of stuff, but it boils down to 3 things. 1, I can help you build your website. 2, I can provide you with mentorship sessions so that you can clear on what you need. 3, I can connect you to other experts in my circle that can help you in ways that I can't. 1, 2, 3, that's all I can do. Now, that's a big thing, right? Because mind you, I can say, well, I write books, I do magazines, I have a social network. Once people get to the specifics of what they need, I can dive into all the meat. But at the service, I just want people to get, if she needs a web designer, or if she needs a clarity call, or if she needs somebody that can help her with branding or PR, or, she needs somebody that can help her edit her writing, I can find her somebody. One of those 3 things, but keeping it simple, right? So what I want you to think about, especially for those of you who are service professionals, is how to put together a My Help video trailer where you basically just say, hey, this is who I am, this is my business, and this is how I can help you. Again, the idea here is to keep it simple and really consolidate, right? Be clear on what it is that you're offering, and that's it. Again, this is different from what most people think to do or even do when they introduce themselves and say, oh, well, you're an entrepreneur, what do you do? And then they go on with the long list. But learning how to be more simplistic in your marketing and explaining to people what it is that you do will help you, as it will help them remember you and recite your information to other people that they feel like could utilize you as a service professional. So hopefully that was a clear and clean recap of that particular slide. Again, ladies, sorry for the audio breakups, if at all. Keeping in mind we're doing a 3-hour session, so between the live webinar and internet and calls and all these different things, things will slow down a little bit, but hopefully we're staying clear and on point. Again, thank you guys for keeping me up to date in the chat section. Last but not least, as far as video trailers that you should create, is the What's Up Next video trailer. I absolutely love doing these videos. As you can see, this is at an event in my old apartment. This is a Google Hangout video that I did. Here's another one, fairly recent, of me in my new home, and this is just a video trailer of an event. So What's Up trailers are really great because they just keep people in the loop, and you want to keep people in the loop. So you want to make sure that you're sharing life moments, letting people just get a glimpse of, you, whether it be in your office or at your home. Again, I don't require you to do all of these things, obviously. I'm just sharing those strategies that have been working really well for me over the last few years as far as resonating with my audience and helping me market better, which is what this particular section is all about. And then this is also just another way to reiterate the same types of information that we've been talking about today in general, whether it be your life moments, upcoming activities, updates, events. With respect to just kind of putting together audio videos and photos, I would recommend you go to animoto.com. I use that particular website quite a bit. Also a free service, but I think I spend anywhere between $5 and $10 a month just to have a few extra premium services added on to that. But it's a good idea to get into the habit of creating What's Up videos, again, just to kind of check in with people. And videos are subliminal. I don't know how often you go on YouTube, but I know when I go on YouTube on my homepage, it shows me the videos that I subscribe to that they've recently created. So that's just another way for people to go, oh, this is LaShanda, this is what she's up to, and they start playing and they watch and they see, and they can stay up to date with what's happening with me. Now, some recommendations as far as video tools that I use. When I'm doing like a Google Hangout or something along those lines, I'll probably use one of my webcams. I've got an HP, well, pretty much all my laptops have integrated HP. I use HP for pretty much everything, whether it be my laptops and my desktops, and I think we've got maybe about 4 or 5 computers in the house now. I use the integrated webcams that come with my HP, as well as my Logitech webcam, which I purchased as an external webcam for one of the computers that didn't have a webcam integrated onto it. So if you don't have a webcam, you can definitely go and purchase one. I'm loyal to certain brands because I use them quite a bit and they never fail me. So HP is one of them and Logitech is another. Usually when I'm doing videos on the fly, I will use my iPhone. So I personally get jealous with some people who have the Galaxies because I find their video quality to be a little bit better than the iPhone, personally speaking, but that's just personally speaking. So if you've got a smartphone, if you don't, definitely get one for your mobile videos on the fly in combination with my Glyph. A Glyph, and you can look it up at glyph.com, basically is a small tool that allows me to attach my iPhone onto my tripod so that it doesn't look wobbly, and I can basically put it on the tripod and sit in front of it. So that's one thing. I also have the Hitachi Media Remote, and it's Bluetooth. The Hitachi Media Remote works with Bluetooth devices. I bought this one in particular because one of my pet peeves is watching videos where the person has to like stretch over to turn the video on and turn the video off. And so I have a Bluetooth remote so that I can sit in front of my iPhone and hit record and not actually have to be, get up, hit record, and you can see me walking back to my seat to sit down. So that comes in handy quite a bit. And I have done research on different remotes, but that one really had the features that I was looking for. So I got that one off of Amazon. When it comes to doing full video clips or full videos of events that I do, I've got certain cameras that I use quite a bit, my Kodak and my Canon camera. My Kodak used to be my go-to for everything. The Canon was close to 1,000. Canon cameras are, we've got the one that people use to do professional movies, even though I don't use it that way. And then I think I spent maybe about $300 or $400 on the Kodak. But the Kodak used to be for everything until we upgraded to the Canon. So now I use the Kodak predominantly for photos and the Canon for digital, for recording video. But for me, use what you have available to you and make it work. That's all you can do, and that's what I've done over the years. So I use kind of a combination of all these things when it comes to creating video, as well as my Logitech headset when I want to have a headset on and cancel out some noise. So before I move forward, I do see a question here, so I'm just going to pause for 2 seconds. And also just want to make sure that you guys can hear me clearly. So you can star 6 and 1 if you want to do Q&A, but I see Eva has a question. How is Animoto different from YouTube? Oh, that's an absolutely great question, Eva. Animoto.com is actually it's like a video editing service, which essentially allows you to create videos without having the skills of a videographer, meaning if you've got some great photos, you can put them together like maybe birthday photos or wedding photos. This is how people use it casually, but you can also use it for your business. They'll take like wedding photos and then put it together, and then Animoto, how their system is put together, it'll animate it for you. It'll have the little video intro, and then you can put some music in the background, all that wonderful stuff. That's different from YouTube, obviously, in that YouTube is a video sharing service. And while YouTube has upgraded over the years, you have some ways in which you can edit your videos. Creating the video is basically what Animoto would help you do. So I use Animoto just to create quick video trailers. Oftentimes things are, anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes long. I use YouTube to upload. Then once I do the video in Animoto, I'll download it and then upload it to YouTube, which is where all my videos are stored and shared with the larger community. So great question there. Thank you. So now that you know a couple of the actual physical video tools that I use, as far as web tools are concerned, live videos, Google Hangouts work really, really well. While I personally have not recorded Skype video, I have been interviewed quite a bit on Skype. And so you can research different software applications in which you can do a video interview on Skype and then record the video as you're doing it. Google Hangout, it's a bit of a learning curve. It's not terribly complicated, but you can do Google Hangouts as well. As many of you know, especially those of you who participated in my Pro Webinars workshop, and that's my Pro Webinar series is at prowebinars.sysevents.com. I talked about how to set up webinars for profit or promotion. I use Start Meeting quite a bit when it comes to setting up webinars. And you can share your screen. You can also do your webcam as well if you'd like to. Animoto, I recommend, and I just kind of gave you that little explanation there as far as how you use Animoto. And then, of course, YouTube. Once I do my videos, I upload them onto YouTube to share them there. So this is a checklist for those of you who may want to take a look and see if there are other options out there for you, as well as just kind of a peek inside of my little world for those of you who are curious about what it is that I use. Now, I do have here an opportunity for a break. I'm going to keep going, but I will pause just for a second to check and see if you guys have written any questions for me. But hopefully you guys are staying on track with me and are good to go for me to continue. So if you have any questions, post them, and I'll take a look. So now that we've talked about how to make it better, how to market it better, we're going to go into how to monetize it better with PayPal profits and affiliate sales. So the first thing I want to talk about is basically a PayPal profits checklist to explore what you need to set up versus what you already have set up on your website or blog, so you can get a better sense of how to make it better as far as integrating PayPal profits into your website. So here are some questions for you to think about and also make note of, jot down, however you choose. First, we're going to talk about your products and services. There are actually three types of areas that I focus on when it comes to monetization. The products and services that I sell, that's number one. Number two, when it comes to the blog, your products and services, that's number one. Number two, their products and services. So when I talk about their, I'm talking about advertisers. And then number three, affiliate marketing. So advertising and affiliate marketing, I put in two different channels because affiliate marketing for me in many cases also relates to passive income. So I try to separate them as such. So what we're going to do is go through a series of questions here. But, of course, once we go through the questions and as we go through them, questions *6 and 1, also in the chat. And, of course, for those of you listening to the replay, you can at any time send me an email, lhenry@sistasense.com. Say, LaShanda, I'm watching the video. What do I do now? So, okay, questions with respect to your products and services. Do you need a service page? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. And it took me some time to put together a service page. I didn't originally have one. But what are you going to have on that service page? That's also something to ask yourself. Do you have to set up packages? So do you have particular products that you need to set up packages for? Do you have to set up calls? Or do you have to set up training sessions? Now, each of these things require different types of, setups or formats that concern different types of integration. So you want to be conscious of what exactly you're selling and what kind of components you need for your particular space. Now, if you have questions about any of these questions, setting up a package or a call or a training, I will answer as much as I could possibly answer today. But at the very least, I want you to be mindful of the things you should be thinking of as far as PayPal profits and your blog. So your products and services, do you need a simple PayPal integration system? When I started out, I didn't have much to sell, so just being able to put up a couple of PayPal buttons would suffice. Or do you need a full-fledged e-commerce shopping cart? A lot of my clients do. So I'm in a position, I'm actually working on a website for a client, and we're starting, it's, some of you have probably heard me talk about this. It's in one of my newer projects. It's for a decor home appliance website, and we're going to be putting in 500 products in there. PayPal buttons won't cut it. So being able to integrate a full-fledged e-commerce shopping cart, that's something you need to think about. But is that something you need now versus maybe something that might interest you later? Something to think about. I did, by the way, do a complete Jumpstart Your Business call all about different e-commerce shopping cart solutions to build your shop on a budget. So you can listen to that replay over at jybreplays@sistasense.com. That's to Jumpstart Your Business replays. But I want you to be conscious of these questions because for some people, they know kind of vaguely what they want, and sometimes they get overwhelmed with the perception of what they think they need versus what they actually need. Like, I want to have an online store, and I need, oh, my God, how much money do I have to spend to build a store? Well, how many products do you have right now? 3? Okay, well, you don't need an online store. You need some PayPal buttons. Oh, and that clarity in and of itself is a huge thing for people, especially when you're either starting out on a budget or you're, overwhelmed by all that you think you need for your space. Now, do you need a third-party shopping cart? Most of you know that I use eJunkie quite a bit, and I recommend it also. because for me, I sell a lot of digital products, and I didn't want to just have PayPal buttons. I wanted a way for people to download a project and not – with PayPal, if you send people a download, you can't limit it. It's not as secure. But with eJunkie, I can say, well, this person has 5 days to download this product, and after that, they have to come back to me again. That's all the access they get to it, So eJunkie I use on top of PayPal, but I didn't need a whole e-commerce shopping cart. I'm not selling like my whole, like a huge, collection of Super Fan T-shirts or something like that. So understanding the type of shopping cart I needed for my business, eJunkie worked really well for me. I'm working with another client, and she needs to use Etsy. One of my other clients, who uses Big Cartel. So, thinking about whether or not you want to integrate an e-commerce solution onto your WordPress website or blog, or if you want to use a third-party one, that's something for you to keep in mind. And, again, thinking about budget or, what's easy for you to use. Do you want to have an external store that you embed? So, for example, I had one client, and we started out her store, and she built it on Shopify, and then she wanted to embed the store into her website. And then for her needs, it didn't really work, so then we went from embedding the store to just building the store into the blog. So for some people that works really well, and for others, it doesn't. So it really, really depends on what you feel like is going to work for you. Now, as I'm saying that, I see Rachel has a comment here, and she says, I tried eJunkie, but I didn't like it. I had trouble finding my products once I submitted it, and I didn't like the look of it. Can you recommend other options for selling digital products? That's a good point, because like I mentioned before, I swear by eJunkie. I absolutely love it, but not everything is for everyone. When it comes to selling your digital products, there are other ones out there. Way back in the day, I used to use something called Payloads, PAYLOADZ.com. Honestly, I would have to recommend just doing some search on digital, marketplaces where you can sell digital products. But you know what? To be honest with you also, there are a lot of different plugins now on which you can integrate your digital products onto your website, meaning that you can create your buy now buttons and have your own, not a full-fledged shopping cart, but you can just sell digital products on your website. So, for example, I talked about this in my last training. I use Premise, and I use Premise to build my membership website, and I use Premise also if I want to sell digital products. I can use that as well on Premise. Unfortunately, Premise is no longer available. So for most of my clients who want to build membership websites or directly sell digital products from their space, I provide my services to install it and set it up for them, for starting off as little as $97, depending on how much they want to get done. But unfortunately, Premise is not for sale anymore. But it's not the only one out there. There are other ones like it. So they're like WordPress plugins. So you can search for like a WordPress plugin to sell digital products on your website if you don't feel like eJunkie would work really well for you. I do have a video on SisterSense for those of you who are members, and you can find it at ejsetup.sistersense.com for eJunkie. And I walk through the process. I think it's about a 40 to 60-minute video of how to set up your eJunkie store. So, Rachel, you may want to look at that video and see if maybe there are some things in that particular video that would help you modify your store on eJunkie to make it work a little bit better for you. Okay, so you like one, and it's called Gumroad. Okay. So, again, the key here is just to work with the ones you feel most comfortable using. But as far as some plugins or that eJunkie video, that you can take a look at those as well. Those are the options that I could provide for you at the moment. And I'll take a look at that other one that you mentioned, Gumroad, Gumroad, for selling digital products. So also on this list here, when you're thinking about questions that you need to ask yourself, do you have an external store, again, that I mentioned before that you want to embed? Do you need an affiliate program? So for me, I do have an affiliate program at sistersense.com/partners. My affiliate program is through eJunkie. I used to have one shopping cart, but I had to use it in conjunction with a merchant account And from my operation, it just became too costly, and I like to keep most of the money that I make. So I downsized from one shopping cart, and I just strategically use eJunkie in combination with PayPal. I did pay. I shouldn't say I did. I do pay for a different kind of merchant account with PayPal. You've got your free account. You've got your business account, which is also free. I pay about $20 a month to have additional services that I use. There's also a $50 plan. It goes up in pricing, so you can get extended services on PayPal. But for the level that I have, it doesn't have an affiliate program integrated onto it, so I use my PayPal in combination with eJunkie, and it works well for me. But again, you want to test out and see what works for you, and also think about whether or not you need to have some sort of membership area created on your particular space. The last one, I built 2 in 1 month, which was a busy month for me, but most recently I did swaggerforchrist.com. Swagger for Christ also has a membership component to it for ministries. So I built that one, and then if you go to selfinvestedworkshops.com, I did that one for Miss Blue so that she can share all her self-invested workshops for her community there. So these are things to think about when it comes to your business, and if you're going to sell products and services and you want to integrate this stuff on your blog, how much or how little do you need to move forward, right? Whether it be just simple PayPal buttons, a full-fledged e-commerce store, an external marketplace that you can embed, an affiliate program, or even a member area. What do you actually need right now versus what do you not need at all, or what do you want to have but realistically would like to phase in at a later date and time, okay? You all are chatting here, which is absolutely lovely. Rachel, Savorian says, Rachel, there are plenty of WordPress plugins you can use to sell digital products on your space. Rachel says, Savorian, thanks. I did have a plugin on my site, but it had problems. I'm using one shopping cart integrated with PayPal on my site. Yes, I use one shopping cart as well. I just find, for me, it didn't work with my budget at the time, and I was using one shopping cart. I tried it out when I was starting out, working at home full-time, which was about 5 years ago. So back then, my budget was way small, and it was not working for me. Really, I've got my systems together at this point where I don't even think I would integrate it now because I'm really comfortable with using PayPal. But just PayPal, again, integrating with eJunkie. But, again, the idea here is that you're aware of everything that's out there, and you find the one that works best for you, okay? Now, moving along, when it comes to your website, you also want to think about your policies and your procedures. Now, this is the last section that we're talking about today. We did make it, market it, now we're on monetize it. We're actually at 10 minutes to the ending of our session. Well, the clock is concerned, it's 10 minutes, but I've got a little bit more than 10 minutes to go with you. So just want to make sure you guys are conscious of that. We will go a little bit over today. If you did have any questions and had to go, be sure to leave them for me in the chat, and I will get to them as well. Rachel says, LaShanda, they do have a free option that just charges per transaction. Wow, that's interesting. They didn't have that 5 years ago. I can tell you that. I can only assume that they created this free option per transaction to compete with something like PayPal, which only charges you per transaction. So that's good. I can actually tell people that now, that they offer that service too. Okay, good to know. So, okay, back into monetize it better, PayPal profits and affiliate sales. You also want to think about your policies and your procedures, okay? You know, people say when it comes to success, if you stay ready, you will be ready when it happens. I believe that is wholeheartedly true. So whether it be, you know, wanting to get hundreds, if not thousands of people in your circle, or just wanting to see more people consistently coming to you and buying your products or services, you have to be ready for the influx. Don't wait for it to happen. So think about those policies and procedures that you should have in place on your space to make it better. For example, an FAQ, are there frequently asked questions that you should absolutely just have up there so people don't come to you constantly? Do you need a getting started guide or maybe a series of getting started guides? I absolutely need that for my web client, so that was one of the first PDFs that I created. Do you need a return or cancellation policy? As I mentioned before, for the home shop, the home decor website that I'm putting together this month, last week I was working on the return page and the cancellation page because obviously they're selling over 500 products. They need that. I don't particularly need that kind of thing, but I do need to make it clear to clients what my cancellation policy is, or, what my return policy is, or what my crediting policy is, so that when they do come, that information is already available to them. Policies and procedures for me are very important because I consider myself to be a shy entrepreneur. And so, especially as a woman entrepreneur, when I started out, I really didn't want to talk about money, and I hated to talk about those things that I felt like made me uncomfortable or made the client uncomfortable or made that conversation where I was like, I don't know what that is. But in the process of putting together policies and procedures for myself, it made it easy for me to go into a conversation and address an issue or a cancellation or a return or a comment or a concern because I had policies and procedures in place to talk about just those things. If you feel like you're talking off of the fly and it's not something that's set in stone because you've established it so for your business, it makes the conversation uncomfortable. And sometimes when you're talking off the fly and you get nervous, you change things or you say things you wish you shouldn't have. So, being conscious of that and putting together procedures was definitely something that helped me as far as confidence and on the fly. And also you want to think about, especially for my service professionals, there are a lot of times I talk to clients and they go, oh, my God, I know this is going to happen, and it's so frustrating, or I hate when this happens. If there are issues in your business that you hate, it's important for you to put together policies or procedures, think about what went wrong, and then come up with strategies to make it better and put that in place. So it's not just to kind of wait for the thing to happen the way you know it's going to happen and you hate that it's going to happen that way. You want to prepare for it. Do you need sign-up forms or incentives like free reports, as we talked about previously? What's missing on your space to make it better for people who are coming to you? So perhaps you need a new sign-up form so that when people come to your website, there's an opportunity for them to sign up. Some of you have sign-up forms, but then you have nothing that happens after that. So maybe you need a follow-up sequence after, I think it was my Pro Webinars training. Marceline, you participated in that. Marceline was one of the ladies who we worked on putting together her autoresponder sequence so that once she got people in, there was a sequence of emails going out to them strategically over time. So you want to know if you have sign-up forms, incentives, or even follow-up sequences for your audiences. And if you don't, these are things that you need to integrate. The year goes by very, very quickly, and so I try to strategically improve my website little by little every year. You may have said in January, I need a follow-up sequence, and it's now July, and you may have a couple of people or a couple of hundred people on a list, and they haven't gotten anything from you since then. So understanding that you've got to ask yourself these questions and figure out what you need to calendar in to fix or add to your website is very, very important because time goes by quickly, and you don't want to miss your marketing moments. With respect to autoresponders, you don't want to miss the months and weeks that you could have been building relationships with people who came and expressed an initial interest with you, but you kind of dropped the ball and didn't send them anything or just sent them one thing and never followed up after that. And then last but not least, do you need systems for your speaker requests? So if somebody comes and says they would like you to speak, what are you going to do? I have clients, they come to me sometimes and they go, oh, my God, somebody asked me to speak. I don't know what to say. I don't have a media kit. I don't have any photos. I don't have any topics. How much should I charge? Again, if you want to be successful, right, don't just wait for success to come to you. Stay ready. So when you have speaker requests, you need to put something together for that. If that's something that you want, people talk about the secret, putting things out there so that it will magnetically come to you. I mean, to me, it's a part of the process, and you've got to know what you've got to set up. referrals. Do you have a referral system? When clients come to me, I've got my affiliate program. If it's something that's not set up in my affiliate program, I talk to them on an individual basis on how they can, partner with me and do referrals. You've got to have those processes in mind. And even appointments. This year, I put together an appointment system so I could stop going, so what time works for you? And actually give people a website they can go to, look at my calendar, and schedule a time. These are all things that make your business and your blog better. So thinking about what you need to integrate onto your website is important. You don't have to do all of this now, obviously, but it's a good thing to keep this stuff in mind for the future. Okay? So advertisers, attracting advertiser interest. I know some of you do want to monetize your blog, and some of you are service professionals. Some of you just want your blog to be a form of income for you, and are interested in generating revenue from advertisers. So a couple of questions to keep in mind. If someone wants to come to you today, forgive me for being tongue-tied, do you need to set up banner ad space? So one of my clients, I was working on her website. She's got a huge website, atlwellnesscorp.org, and it's an online directory for Atlanta corporate health and wellness services. And in the process of putting together the directory, she also wanted to integrate strategic spots where people could submit ads, right? So we put up the locations. I have one at the top and a couple in the sidebar. Do you have that space set up so that if an advertiser does come to you, you're ready for the sale? Do you need to set up sponsored posts? So, if people want to come to you and say, can I write on your blog and pay you for it, do you have that kind of a package or opportunity available for them? Do you need to set up a niche directory? So for the ATL Wellness Corporation, her website is a complete full-fledged directory. So that's the primary focus. The directory blog is kind of an aside to that, but the whole thing is the directory. And it's set up in such a way that people can automatically go sign up, input their new their health and wellness corporation business, and automatically pay for it full-fledged. So you need something like that kind of a directory on your blog, or do you need just a page that you can manually, put together? For example, I did the Spotlight feature on SysAscent, and I manually set up that page and add new people. I have add a couple of people this week who have submitted to be a part of the Spotlight page there. So you can have a simple directory like that where you're adding people's pictures, photos, links, or even integrating a simple directory plugin. Some of them, there are some out there. Some of them are not so great, but if you look, maybe you'll find one that works for you. But again, is that something that you want to set up? Or I should say that you need to set up for your business. For the Atlanta Wellness website, the heart of her business is the directory. For your website, maybe you don't need a directory, or maybe you want to add one on to, for supplemental income. But how much time and energy you're going to put into that, something to think about. Do you have an advertise here page so that people can see different ad opportunities that you have on that space and how much it costs? It depends on whether or not you need it. On BBWO Entrepreneurs, BBWO is women entrepreneurs. So I always have people asking me, how can I advertise? How can I advertise? So it was so important for me to have an advertise page with buttons and packages already set up where they can go and buy. I don't have that on SysAscent. People do pay for eBlast or pay to be featured and things of that nature, but it's really not an integral part of what I do on SysAscent, so I don't have a page there. Something for you to think about. Do you need starter banners and links? I remember once when I was starting out BBWO, one of the ladies came on the circle, and she was so excited because she saw BBWO was growing and had all these members, and she was like, how do you get all these amazing sponsors? And I'm like, what sponsors? I don't have any sponsors. Starting BBWO at the time, but what she was referring to were the ads that were there, whether they be my own personal banners that I had or my Google AdSense banners, which is another one. Do you need to set up AdSense? Having those banner spots already set up, some people thought I had ad sponsoring, and I didn't, but it was the momentum that was needed because affiliates advertisers go, oh, she has space for me to buy ad opportunities. I want to go and submit my information with her. So, these are some things to keep in mind. If you do want advertisers to advertisers to express an interest in your business or website, you're going to have to start to set up some of these things so that you're making it known that you do have these opportunities available on your space. Okay, so affiliate marketing. I'm going to give you an affiliate marketing starter checklist, right? And I'm assuming that for the most part you all understand how affiliate marketing works, where basically companies, entrepreneurs like myself, they will set up a program where you sign up and you get a unique affiliate ID number. Then you will get unique links so that you can send out their information, and your ID number is basically what is used to track your link. And so when you send it out and somebody buys through you, you'll get a percentage of the sale. So how most affiliate programs work is that what you'll get is an email that says, oh, you just made a sale and you just made 15%, and this is what you're going to get. And then the person who is the owner of the affiliate program will also get an email and say, oh, Linda just made a sale, so that everybody knows that the affiliate sale was made, and then you will be paid. Usually the rule of thumb is with most affiliate programs, you get paid within 30 days. I like to pay my affiliates within the first 5 days of the month. And I pay affiliates directly via PayPal. There are some affiliate programs that will pay you via a check. Of course, that takes a little bit longer, right? Because one, you got to wait 30 days, and then you got to wait for them to cut the check. So that's just something to keep in mind when it comes to affiliate programs. But I personally like to not only have one, but to participate in affiliate programs from others, because it's just a nice way to generate supplemental streams of income. So the first thing I want you to do today is, if you are familiar with affiliate programs, list out 3 affiliate programs that you have joined. And I want you to make note whether or not you are actually actively a part of those affiliate programs, or you just kind of joined them and they're sitting there, because they can't help you if you just joined and you have not used them. So that's something to keep in mind. Then you want to list 5 products or services that you like to use. Okay, so the first one, list 3 affiliate programs that you've joined, right? We want to be conscious of the things that you are a part of and how you can actively start to integrate them onto your blog. That's kind of the first step. Then for those of you who are either have joined them or haven't, list 5 products or services that you use. Then go to those websites and scroll down to the bottom, because usually they don't put the affiliate information at the top. Usually it's like close to terms of service or contact us or additional information. At the bottom, it'll have join our partners program or our affiliate program. And you may find that some of the products and services that you use have affiliate programs that you can join. So that's something that I often recommend to clients who say, I want to do affiliate marketing, but I don't know where to find stuff. Look at the products and services that you use and see what's available. Now, with respect to affiliate products that like, trust, support, and have joined, right, this is all a starter list. 1, I recommend you create a resources page on your website where you spotlight resources that you recommend. Some of them can be free, but you should also integrate those affiliate links in there. That's really a great way to let people know about what you're doing and how it works for you. There's this wonderful podcaster out there, Pat Flynn, either Pat Flynn, Flynn, or Finn, Finn. But his website, he talks a lot about not only podcasting, but how he got into podcasting and how he makes money online. And one of the things he talks about is his service page and how much money he generates just simply by people reading his podcasting how-tos and then clicking on the affiliate links on his resources page and generating revenue that way. So if you are adamant about a particular topic and you share resources and you have a resources page, that's one way to tap into that affiliate revenue outside of simply just posting the affiliate banners on your sidebar. Writing affiliate product reviews is also something that I am absolutely adamant about doing, because, again, I feel like the best way for you to tackle affiliate marketing is to look at it not from the idea of selling, but recommending. You're not here to sell anything to anyone, but to simply recommend products that you know, like, and trust. And people will sign up to it because you're honest about it and you like it. And if they're looking for it, you let them know about it. I very recently this week actually did a video talking about my affiliate program, as well as just talking about the idea of generating an extra $500 a month via affiliate marketing. I talked about my web host and how I usually, as a web designer, I'll tell clients, you know, if you don't have a web host, you can use mine. And in recommending my web host, I actually get an affiliate commission of $65 per sale. 10 recommendations is $650 for something that I didn't create. And that I don't have to set up any marketing pages. I just recommend it to clients because it's something that is relevant and related to what I do as a service professional. So being able to write thoughtful reviews about those things that you know, like, and trust is very important. Also creating how-to affiliate videos. In some cases, what you'll find, people who make tons of money from affiliate marketing are people who not only use the products but start to teach people how to use the products. And they're so adamant you would think it's their product because of how much information they put out there and how much they do to train people, or even write free reports on products that you would recommend, right? You know, here's my top 10 favorite resources. Write a free report, 12 pages, put your products in there, integrate those affiliate links. Something that you can strategically do, share, and in the process, people sign up and you make extra money, right? Very, very straightforward. But again, the biggest thing for me here is to focus on a few products that you specifically know, like, and trust, and that you actively find ways to share those products, right? Don't just try to do one thing. I've got quite a few tutorials and videos as well as audios on the topic of affiliate marketing that you can listen to under the tutorial sections of This Is a Sense tutorial area. But this is something that I wanted to touch on today. And, of course, for those of you who are in affiliate marketing and you have specific questions, this would be the absolute best time to ask me, as that's the focus of our topic for right now. Now, some of the affiliate programs I would recommend. One, you've got my Sister Sense Partners program at sistersense.com/partners. And just kind of checking into the comments here. Bev says, another site that does that is entrepreneuronfire.com. Great. There goes a site that we can all take a look at. Marcelin says, what is the online appointment system that you use? Oh, I got an online system, but then it didn't work the way I wanted to, so I actually had to go in there and hack it. So it's not one that I personally recommend, only because you need some tech skills to get it to work the way you need to. But I do have clients that find appointment systems online that you just kind of pay a nominal fee for and you can use. Rachel says timetrade.com. You can consider that for appointments. So that one you can take a look at and see if that would work well for you. Rachel says, just joined yesterday. Wonderful. Yesterday. Wonderful. Rachel just joined my affiliate program yesterday. Awesome. So, you know, if you say, for example, you have experienced what it is to go through a Sister Sense webinar, you're doing a 3-hour plus session today, you can write a review about it. The Blog for Business workshop, the actual regular registration is $60, and that's how much the replays will be for at least the first 3 months of the replays being available. So having experienced it and knowing what it's all about, you can write a thoughtful review about it. You can share your affiliate link and let people know about it and generate a commission from that. So that's something that you can do, and that's one of different information products and services that I offer. I recently added to that my web services. So if you wanted to recommend my web design services and get $45 per referral, that's something that you could do. Also, this is the Sense online circle. I created a 90-day pass, and you can promote the 90-day pass and then generate a commission for people who sign up to that as well. So you can look into that page. This is sistasense.com/partners. The new video is there. And then ask me any questions that you have about that as well. But, for my hosting, I use HostMonster. There are other ones out there. I use this one. I like it. I mean, is it perfect all the time? Of course, you have days where something goes wrong, but then you call them and they fix it, and then it's okay. So, I try to focus on those products that I personally use, know, like, and trust. Digital sales, as I talked about before, I oftentimes recommend eJunkie. I've been using them for the majority of the time that I've been online, so over 5 years now, and I'm a part of their affiliate program as well. For online shopping, I love eBay. I just purchased some stuff on Old Navy, and I was kicking myself. I said, Jay, I was on Old Navy for 2 hours, and then I forgot to go through eBay and get my cash back. So I absolutely love using Ebates, and I recommend their affiliate program as well. I like the things that I like, and I can talk about them and tell people that, I get my Ebates checks in the mail, so I know their work. And, sometimes I'll see things that say, shop online or read emails online and make money, and my eyes roll over. I'm like, this isn't real. But Ebates is actually real. You get cash back. They're connected to legitimate websites, Old Navy, Amazon, eBay, Macy's, all these different websites that sell stuff. So when I purchase things online, and I remember, which is most of the time, I don't know, I was having a brain fart that day, I like to go in there and put in my eBay so that I know when I make my purchase, I'll get like a cash back. It's usually like a certain percentage of what you paid, 1%, 2%. Different seasonal or holiday times, it'll be like 5% back. So it's nice. You get back a little percentage of what you paid. So I'm always like, go to ebates.sistasense.com and sign up through me. So online shopping, Ebates for email marketing, especially for beginners. I love Mad Mimi, so I always recommend them through my referral program. So I just kind of wanted to give you just an insider look at, some of the affiliate programs that I tell people about. But really, these are the ones that I use, outside of SistaSense that I created. So your goal is to really think about the ones that you've connected yourself to. If you have connected yourself to a couple already, then outside of outlining those great posts, you want to sit down and write a review for at least one of these so that you can start talking about these affiliate programs and actively promoting them. That's really the only way you make affiliate money, when you actually talk about the programs and the products and get people interested in them as well. Rachel says, will the coupon code for the $15 discount be available for the replays today? That's going to be up there until it expires. And so I've got that set to expire as soon as they're all bought out. But you all who have, everyone who's paid for access to this particular webinar workshop has access to the replays, so you don't have to pay extra for the replays. So, that's something that I've included. So for everyone who's actually paid for the workshop, they get access to the replays. I do that sometimes with my workshops, and then there are other times where I'll sell it separately. I'll do the workshop and then, sell the replays separately. But me personally, I just like to say if you paid for the workshop, then get the replays. That's just kind of my bonus gift. I don't know if you can call it a gift if you pay for something, but I always like to add my replays on as a bonus for the most part. So you'll get that email, Rachel, with the replays for our sessions today. So monetize it. Make it better. Outline your affiliate review, okay? So I definitely want you guys to make a point to write at least one affiliate review. Share why you like that particular product, why you needed it, why do you find it useful? I'm a web designer, so obviously I need hosting. So I can talk all day, every day about why I need hosting and why it's important, or why it's the first thing that most people should get. So obviously you want to get a domain name in your hosting, because if you don't have that, you don't have a website, right? So sharing why you need it, how to use it, or how it works. I did a video on how to set up your blog in under 10 minutes, talking about hosting and really just creating a how-to video that's helpful for people who want to start, and it's affiliated with my affiliation to my host. So really just being creative about how you share the information, and also letting people know where to get it. So, if this is something that you want, this is where you can go. Again, with respect to your review, really the heart of it is just honest to goodness recommendation, and just consistently talking about these recommendations with your circle is how you will see affiliate revenue generate for you. Now, I am not a hardcore affiliate marketer. Those who do affiliate marketing all day, every day, they have a ton of other things that they would recommend to you to do. But again, I'm a web designer, and I mentor women, so I don't have time to do this all the time. But, if you do want to monetize your blog and tap into some additional streams of income, again, even if you just want to generate an extra $500 a month, being adamant about recommending other things that you feel like could supplement your business is just a smart thing to do. So just a quick pause here once again to see if you guys have any questions for me. I'm just going to, chime in as you guys are doing. You guys are pros now, right? You're pros at this. You're entering the chat. Let me know if you have any questions. Also want to pause just so that you can go over any notes that you have and you're outlining all the wonderful things that I know you guys are going to be writing about, right, once we get wrapped up for today. Of course, I just also want to make sure that my audio is clear and you guys can hear me as well. So, ladies, we are almost about to wrap up for today, but I've just got a few more things that I wanted to share with you with respect to blogging for business, and I definitely want to give you guys an opportunity to share. So *6 start to get yourself in the queue, because I'd love to know what are some ideas that you guys have come up with based on what you've heard today, any questions that you have that you want to chime in on before we leave. Anything like that I can definitely help you with, as well as just kind of saying hello as we wrap up today. So let me know what you're going to work on after you wrap up today with Sister Sense. Now, okay, I do see a question or two here or a comment. Antoinette says, oops, scrolling up. Ooh, I see comments. Hey, I love comments. Antoinette says, I have 8 pages alone from this webinar and an additional 3 for an outline. Awesome. I'm so excited. That's good stuff. 8 pages. Woo. You know you're going to get the replay, right? I love it when people outline. Even when I do my one-on-one coaching calls with clients, and they're like, okay, I know I'm quiet, but I'm writing. I'm like, I'm going to send you your replay. I know, but I got to write this down. So I'm really glad that you're getting all of that. Rachel says, off the topic, but scrolling up really quickly, off the topic, but I signed up for Sister Sense, and I can't access my calls. Oh, okay. So all I need to do is make note of that, Rachel, and I'm going to go in there and check to see what the issue is for you, because I want to make sure, obviously, that you are a part of the Power Circle, that you get access to your calls. I feel like I checked your website on Friday, but I think my Friday is a blur just getting ready for today. So I'm going to make note. So as soon as we wrap up today, Rachel, I'll send you a follow-up email about that just to make sure that you're good to go and you can get access to the Jumpstart Your Business calls ASAP. For anyone who is not a part of the circle, you can definitely sign up at join.sistersense.com to get access to all the replays, the tutorials, as well as our live weekly Jumpstart Your Business calls. Wow, you guys are writing up a storm. I am loving this. Hopefully somebody can copy it. I should do that myself as I'm sitting here. Let me just scroll up, because I think at some point it's only going to scroll up, but so far I'm just going to copy and save this also, just so that I have this to reference. I think I see some emails in here, so I can go back to some of these emails and follow up with you guys as well. Okay, scrolling down here. Antoinette says, yes, I do, and I'll be adding more. I'll be adding more when I hear the replay. Awesome. Bev says, would you recommend sending out a SurveyMonkey survey on Facebook to find out what people want in our field? Absolutely. I like surveys. I would say send it out. Sometimes you have to give people an incentive to actually fill them out. But, I would say put it out there and see. I would also just directly ask people if you have opportunities where you're talking to clients one-on-one, just to, as you're talking to them, ask them the questions or shoot them over an email. Anything for you to get questions answered on the fly in addition to sending out a survey, that would be helpful as well. I do like the ease of the surveys on Facebook just because you could just ask a question and then people can quickly say yay or nay. But getting people to respond, that's always the challenge, right, getting them engaged. So, I would say yes, I do recommend them, but, being creative about directly asking people too, that works as well. Marcelin says, as usual, I have to process all of the information. I would like to share that I enjoyed contacting with the ladies, and thank you. LaShanda, you are so very welcome. Rachel says, LaShanda, you rock. How do you determine who you collaborate with? Oh, thank you. How do I determine who I collaborate with? That's a good question. Really, the first thing that came to mind when you said that is, if my spirit takes to that particular person, if I feel like our visions are in line, I don't say necessarily that I focus on people who are, just big names or they're there yet. I work with people who I feel like are like-minded, passionate, and they're doing something that, again, I can get on board with. Sometimes people actually, working with people or even advertising, because you work with advertisers, I've had to refund a couple of advertisers, and they'll come back and say, well, why didn't you take my money? What's wrong? And I'll say, I don't think it was the right fit for me or my audience, and I decided I don't want to send it out. And some people, it takes them aback, right, because we're in a world where people go, money, yay. But, I'm thoughtful about it. And, again, if the spirit takes me and I feel like it works, awesome. Jen says, thank you for the wealth of information. You are so very, very welcome, Jen. Again, ladies, if you do want to actually physically talk to me, you can hit *6 and 1. I definitely want to know what you guys are planning on working on after you wrap up from today. Antoinette, remember, you're my early bird, so I gifted you a clarity call. Make sure you email me. Rachel, I'm definitely going to make sure that you are connected and can clearly see and access everything on Swiss Eva says, thank you for the content, the rich content, and motivating webinar. You guys are so, so very, very welcome. Some of you have been on my webinars before, and while every time the topic is different, I'm always like, oh, my God, she's going to come on the webinar and think, did she cover this already? So I'm glad that this is valuable, and you guys are always coming on and finding that the webinars are full of new, fresh information for you. So that's absolutely a good thing. And, again, thank you for that. So I'm going to get into the last components of what I want to talk about with you guys again. If you just are coming on the call, or if you missed the opportunity to share who you are, what you do, or what you're going to work on based on what you've learned today, definitely hit *6 and 1 to talk to me. You can put it in the chat, or you can email me, lhenry@sistasense.com. So, blogging for business, dreams to reality. One of the things that I talked about when I said to people, I'm going to be doing this blogging for business workshop, is that my personal dream to reality was being able to learn how to consistently build my business online. And the number one tool that I use is my blog. I always talk about, being on that slowstring budget, I have to find low-cost, no-cost strategies to use, and for the most part, I still use them. What's funny is, Fortune 500, billion-dollar businesses are using the same social media platforms that I'm using and struggling to figure out, paying a whole lot of people a whole lot of money to do it, by the way, because they're struggling to figure out how to do this stuff. So it's a testament to be able to do this and actually make it work. So I hope that you guys have been able to find some practical solutions to working on your blogging for business skills. For me, as I mentioned before when I was talking about doing this session, I recently did a little activity thinking about my primary service, which is my web design services, and the latest web client projects that I got from clients who work with me and read my blog. So they came directly from my blog. And in doing so, I saw that the last 14 clients that I had generated about $10,300 from me, which is over $10,000, and it was less than 20 people. So for me, and mind you, again, I will say this, obviously, as a web designer, my packages, they can range from, a $97 website to a website for $1,500. So it does range. But, whether they're small projects to bigger projects, the sum total of that, for me, is significant and under 20 people. So I do believe that you can find your sweet spot. I do believe that you can generate thousands of dollars without having thousands of readers or followers or customers come to you from your blog. You just have to be strategic. You've got to be clear on what it is that you're selling and have an understanding of what you're selling. So, and who you're selling to. So as I said here, when it comes to being able to duplicate that in my business every month, to make sure that, I'm generating sufficient amounts of money on a monthly basis and I'm paying the mortgage and I'm, doing what I need to do for my whole family, I consistently post offers on my website, which is one type of post that I talked about today. I know who I'm selling to, right? I know that for me, I'm working with a lot of women entrepreneurs, specifically women entrepreneurs of color. They're not my only market, but they are my target market. Many of them start off like me on a floss-string budget and can't afford to spend thousands or hundreds of dollars on, costly trainers or costly startup websites. So marketing myself as somebody who can help somebody on a budget, I'm clear on who I'm selling to. And, there are people who sell to my audience and they go, I don't know how you do it because they don't want to buy from me, or they always say they can't afford to buy what I sell. So really understanding, listening, and finding ways to create packages that work for both them and myself, that's a huge part of the process, right? So even my Build It on a Budget program, which you can find at buildit.sistasense.com, that's me strategically saying, okay, well, this is an opportunity for a client to come to me, get a website that may cost them $650, but then pay $59 for a 12-week process and get what they need, right? And I'm not saying, okay, well, I'm going to do a whole website for you for a total of $59 because that makes them happy, but that doesn't make me happy because I'm working myself to death, right? You can't do that. You can't undercut yourself, but you've got to find ways to strategically put together things that are going to work for you and work for your clientele, and that's something that has worked for me. So you've got to be conscious of who you're selling to. Make your target market smaller. It takes some time, but, the closer you can get to understanding who you are selling to, the better you will get at selling, because you'll know how to create packages and price products at rates that work for you and work for them as well. Now, keep in mind, in the process of doing this, I create and adjust offers to fit the needs of both me and my clients. It's not set in stone. If I do it today, I may modify it, not necessarily tomorrow. I got to test it for but, just knowing that you're going to tweak, and you have to just kind of look at things from if you don't have an accountant or a financial person, you've got to look at things and take emotion out of it. It's not, it's not working, it's not selling, they hate me or my stuff. But you've got to figure out where you're either dropping the ball or you're falling short strategically, so that you figure out what's going to work well for you. Because I don't believe that people shouldn't have pretty professional websites if they don't have the money for them. That's why, my websites are called prettyprofessionalwebsites.com. I believe that everybody should have a pretty professional website, no matter what price bracket or where they are as far as startups are concerned. And outside of working hard to work with my clients, I work hard to create packages that work for my clients and work for me too. Also, I write posts with one person in mind, which is something that I talked about when I kind of let people know about this upcoming workshop. And for me, and this is getting to what Angeline said to me, she said, do you do buyer personas or ideal customers? I said, well, did I get to it? You jumped in the gun. I wanted to leave that for the last part. I do. I focus on one person in mind, and that particular person is my ideal client. She is a woman, of course, like myself, starting off on a floss-string budget. But regardless of such, she buys, she shares, and she likes to ask questions. So with her in mind, I create content. She buys is very important. I focus on the client, the specific client that has bought from me, what she bought, what she liked, what she didn't like, what she needs now. Is she finished? Is she going to come back again? When you get information or requests or emails, don't get excited by everybody. Everybody, however you want to say it, because everybody ain't going to buy. Sometimes you get people who they just up, down, and around the corner want to make you feel like gold, because they want to woo you in the hopes that then you will give them what they need without actually paying for it. Not everybody is actually going to buy from you. Sometimes they just want to make you feel good and figure out how they can fit into what you got. I focus on the needs, the wants, and the requests of buyers. So when my buyers ask me for something, I will create it and expand it for my circle. If I feel like it's really good, I will look at other things that other people are asking me for, but they tend to get put at the bottom of the priority list because, again, I want to ensure that if I'm going to put it out there, it's for somebody who actually knows how to invest in themselves. They're conscious of that, and they're going to come back. She shares. This is very, very important. So I know who my favorite people are. And the sum total, my buyers, sharers, and those who ask me 101 questions, even the ones who go, I'm sorry, I know I'm driving you crazy. I love it. I love all the questions. They are combined into this one super active person because she shares. I know who she's talking to. I know, if there are people who, in addition to buying, they go out there and they just, toot my horn without me even asking. These are people who I'll go and say, would you like to participate in a webinar and I'll gift it to you? Or, my early bird, someone just said to me, Antoinette is sitting on the call and nobody ain't here yet. I need to give something to Antoinette, and so the clarity call, there you go. We're going to have a session. Talk to me 30 minutes. Let's get that done. She's here, so I want to figure out how I can keep her in my circle. I can make things work for her, how I can help her share even more because my business is not just me tooting my own horn. It's other people talking about me, whether they love it or hate it. In my mind, everybody loves it, right? In my mind, everybody loves it. But creating content that I feel like she wants to share, that she's interested in, that she will engage in, very, very important. And she asks me questions. She comes to me and she says, LaShanda, I don't know how to do this. My go-getters who are always creating something, an autoresponder, an email, a telesummit, an offer, they are always coming to me and saying, how do I do this? How do I get this done? What's happening next? They are combined, the one person that I consistently write for because they're always busy. They're like me. I feel like she is me, the one person that I have in mind. But I don't buy for myself. So really it's my ideal clients, those people, those women who come to me and are adamant about looking for specific things. I focus on her needs. I originally created my website, and I was not a graphics designer by trade. It's just that I build websites, so I build graphics. And I had this one particular person come to me, and she said, I love your stuff. Can you make mine? And so began LaShanda as a graphics designer. Looking at the things that people ask me for and the people who are really committed to tapping into what I have to offer. You guys know me. I always tell you I'm a typer, not a talker. It took several years before I even dove into doing individual calls, let alone group calls. And that's because the clients that I have, the people who bought from me kept saying, I love this, but I want to talk to you. Get on the phone, please. So, when I blog, I'm able to take that content and translate it into money because I'm focusing on my buyers, what they bought. I talk about it. I showcase it. If they loved it and they said, oh, my God, LaShanda, that looks awesome, I put it out there. What they're engaged in. If I did a website for somebody, obviously they may not want another website tomorrow, so what else does she want, right? So thinking about my client holistically, what else can I provide to her other than that one website? Does she need a landing page? Does she need some banners? Does she need an autoresponder? That really is what has helped me expand my offerings as a service professional, thinking specifically about what my clients are buying, what they're sharing, and what they're asking for. And those are some things that have worked really, 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 really well for me. Rachel says, yes, indeed, everyone will not buy. There is the amen corner. Amen to that, and I'm glad that you know that because as I'm sure many of you do know as fellow service professionals like myself. So what happens now that we have done our over plus 3 hours, right, 3.5 hours blogging for business workshop? What happens next? Well, I definitely want you guys to make sure that, and I will send this to you when you get access to the replays. On that replays page, you'll also see the link to the Get Blogging bundle, so you can make sure that you can open that, but really double check that email that you got with the access code for today. You may have mislooked at it, and I'll double check to see if I was tired and I didn't put it in there. But the Blogging for Business bundle has additional videos and audios for you guys to listen to as part of it. And there's an automated challenge in there that you can activate and get 1 email a week, particularly with that content. On the topic of the Blogging for Business bundle, there are 4 audios in there from pro blogger activities that I have done. And if you are interested in listening to all the pro blogger sessions, we did 10 weeks. I have, for a time, phased out pro blogger and Monday calls because right now I want to focus on individuals. So those who join the Power Up Circle, they get access to listen to all the pro blogger and productivity calls that are there. There are 20 of them there. Plus they get 1 30-minute session with me a month. So you have the opportunity of either doing 1 30-minute session with me, 2 30-minute sessions with me, or 2 60-minute sessions with me a month. And all of that information is at join.sistersense.com if you want to check in with me on a regular basis. For those of you who want to work on your design in addition to working on your content, you can go to buildit.sistersense.com if you want to take a look at my Build It on a Budget program. And also, if you just want to refresh your website, you can go to fixmysite.sistersense.com to take a look at my 5-hour package. And sometimes people say to me, well, what's the difference between building a new website versus the Fix My Site? So the easiest way to explain it is if you love your site, you love the navigation, you love the look and feel, but you just want to update it and make it fresh, Fix My Site works. I'm actually just doing a Fix My Site package for someone right now because she has her website, but she wants to integrate a store. And so she actually installed the store. She just can't customize it. It's just not working for her. So I've given her 4 hours of my time to go in there and tweak it and customize it and make what she has pretty. That's what Fix My Site is really all about. Make it pretty, update it, add some features you may not have had before. But if you look at it and you hate it, or you feel like it's too outdated and you just need to scrap it and bring it to life again, then you want a complete redesign, and that's really what the redesigns are for. So it's either one or the other, but either one, you pick the one that works best for your budget. Okay. So, ladies, final wrap-up for today. I want to, again, thank you, go-getters, for being with me. You guys could be in the pool. You could be hanging out, drinking some mocha cafe lattes, but you are here blogging for business with me. So, again, thank you so much. If you do have any questions or final comments, I'm going to look to see. Savorian says, thanks so much. This was awesome. You are so very, very welcome. Ladies, I want to make sure that we are always staying connected. I know most of y'all I'm going to be talking to one-on-one, but if for any reason that you are not directly connected to, don't hesitate to email me, lhenry@sistersense.com. There's some emails that I still have to get to, but I do get them, and I do follow up with them as quickly as I possibly can, because as you know, I've got a whole lot going on. So just going to pause, this final pause. I really can't believe how quickly 3.5 hours have gone. And I still have my voice, which is a good thing. Sometimes I do these things when I lose my voice. But okay, so I see that we are just about good on questions for today. Hopefully I've given you guys all that you need to move forward to blog for business and make your blogs better. So if anyone comes to you and they say blogging for business, what is it all about? Make it, market it, monetize it, how you do it better. That's what we talked about today, and hopefully you can integrate these solutions into your blog tomorrow. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. Have a wonderful and positive, productive day, week, year. Keep on keeping on. I've got more to share with you inside the Power Circle. Take care. Bye.